Bum, 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 bum. Oh, my seat's low. I need to put my seat back up. Oh, hey. There we are. Oh, hey, hey. Hey, hey. From Sarah. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, Sarah. Get the love up for Zachariah. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey is what horses eat. Hey, hey, hey. Double amount, double trouble. Oh, right. Then I'm done with that drink. I've got one more drink left. I hope you're enjoying this trial, Sarah. I was in and out. I was nervous with the tacos for a while, so I've missed a little bit of it. But overall, I'm glad we're streaming it. We got this trial, day 2 now. We're probably about 4, 5 hours behind, but we'll catch up quick now. We'll catch up quick. I'll start at 8 o'clock. Even if I have to go past midnight, I will do it for you guys. And if you can't stay till the end, just watch it tomorrow. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. It's all good in the hood. If I knew this, I would have planned this a lot better, but I didn't know about this trial. Erin Hack, she sorted us out. Let me guess. Right. I think it's Sarah that's still here anyway, so if it's not, I don't know who else is here. Say hello in the chat if you want to. No pressure. Um, bam, 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 bam. I keep losing subscribers. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I lost. I didn't lose loads of subscribers. I lost a fair bit of subscribers for my Zav, whatever her name is, Zav, whatever her name, Zav thingy view. So I think I lost one for the murd because it shows you where you lost them, and I lost one for my corruption Salcarina thingy as well. So it's all good. Get rid of the weeds, innit? No, yeah, they do unsubscribe, you're right, but sometimes in your videos you can tell it says not who, but how many people have subscribed and unsubscribed. And a few people unsubscribed with the Zav one, which I sort of knew we would. But if you listen to my reasonings, I don't justify what she did at all. I mean, I'm not justifying it. I'd never do it myself. And I think it's horrible. I think it's ugh. My point is, don't bully the girl. Do you know what I mean? She's fucked it up. Just swearing, swearing. Ah, because what's next? Who are we gonna go after next? That's all. Hi there, I'm driving and lurking. Hiya, Murph's turf. Stranger Murph. Anyone that knows you should know who you are. Yes. If you're basing that on one or two videos, do you really want them? No, this is why I make those. Genuinely, people say, why do you make these videos? Because you get a lot of hate and you get people unsubscribing. Duh. That's why I'd rather them bugger off. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna have my views, and I appreciate everyone else having their views. So that's why I like Murph here. Murph's Turf. What a name that is. I love Murph's Turf. What a name. Driving and lurking. Happy days. We can lurk. And this is the thing, lurking, you'd never know who's here. That's the one thing I don't like about YouTube. I'd love to know who's here. Only to say hello, that's all. We have, we have. I think the shade's not too bad on the sign alternate corner. I think it's okay. You can make out it's the alternate corner, or is it just me? How is it for you guys at home? You can see my Wi-Fi box there. You can see my grandmother on the second row. Jeez, I hate this. Oh, jeez, I can't do it. Can't do it. I'm not flexible enough. Right, we'll give it a few more minutes. Looks fine. Copy date. I wasn't sure if the shade would, because I've got a different shade. Wasn't sure if it was too much or not. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this, Sarah. I hope you're enjoying this trial. And Murph, this is a trial about, it's about a lot of things, but it's about well, 19-year-old now. I think he probably was 17 at the time, attempted murder and stuff like that. So it's about excuse me, 8 things he's up for. We've just watched day one. We got day two now. We're going 1.5 of it for probably the whole thing, and then we'll start tomorrow again if it's on. Day three, we'll start that fresh tomorrow. Keaton, how are you? Um, After all, this is a very young judge. Yeah, but he's doing okay. He's doing okay. Here she is. Taco, 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 taco. Taco, 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 taco. Erin's taco. People keep asking me, why are you eating taco? I'm like, well, because I want to eat Erin's taco. Hey, they don't get the joke, obviously, but we get it, though, Erin, don't we? We get it. Keaton, welcome back. I've not seen you since the Parkland shooting officer thingy. Right, give it a few more. We'll give it a few more. We're so lucky to have Erin Hack amongst us because if it wasn't for Erin, we would not be watching this trial right now. So thank you, Erin. We appreciate you very much. And Keaton, I hope you're keeping well. This judge is doing all right. He'd be a little bit. Can you say that question again? Can you say that question again? So yeah, you can see he's a little bit inexperienced. Erin, you know the score. Erin, you know the score. Could you imagine if you went home to your husband and said, "Oh, Dylan, eat my taco today, Erin's taco." He'd be like, "So I've got everything set up. Let me entertain you. Share screen. I've got it up here ready. The video that is. Oi oi. Channel. No. Timothy Simpkins. Yes. Share. Then I've got it. I'm gonna place it there so you can see my beautiful face again. Ah, jeez, jeez, Louise. So I'm full. How did you find it, Sarah? Sarah, let me tell you. So my mother said, "Oh, it was, really messy but nice." My father absolutely loved it. He was just like, "Oh, next time just dump the mince and stuff on my plate, then I'll just scoop it with the taco," he said. I loved it. He'd absolutely loved it. He absolutely loved it. So, he also came in with my dessert. We had a lemon meringue pie. My mother bought it yesterday, so I had a bit of a dinner then tonight. And he, on the way out, he was like, "Well, we're not having fajitas anymore with chicken and stuff like that. We're gonna have tacos from now on. It's bloody beautiful." So yeah, taco salad. This is the thing. It's he never tried it before. Well, I've never tried it. None of us ever tried it. And until you try new things like that, I just say like, "Oh, sorry." Hey Murphy, Katie, Keaton. Yum, Murphy. I know. I'd never tried tacos before, so it was a new experience. But so the next one for me is going to be that white country gravy. But I bought all this stuff now. I'm not. It's only, it costs. I'd say it's equivalent to about $4, right? But I'm not paying like 7, 8. Well, more than that. So it's about $4 for a packet, right? But delivery is like $12. I'm not paying that. Do you know what I mean? We were going to have something else for dinner tonight, but may need to have tacos now. Oh, yeah, it was lovely. Lovely. Murph, I've never tried them before. Oh, yeah, salsa. If you can, 'cause my mother's a great cook. My mother is genuinely she used to be a cook, do you know what I mean? So, she's generally a great cook, so she could do it. It's just I don't wanna pay, like you pay for a packet $4 and pay, like, $12 for delivery. That's just I'm not doing that. It's just I'm not that desperate to try it, you know? So, no, if you got a recipe, Sarah, happy days because, my mother's a great cook. So and my father's already been speaking about it because he was like, "So we can have it with mash and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, mash and maybe chicken portion. Oh, yeah, and some veg. Oh, yeah, and then pour this gravy on it." He's really looking forward to it. But when I told him how much it was, he was like, "Fucking no chance." But it's like brown gravy. He was like, "Yeah, exactly." Yeah, it is. But and it's from the UK. It's not as if it's from America. It's from the UK. DoorDash is expensive in England, in in Wales. So I don't this is bad. I don't have DoorDash. I don't have Uber Eats. I don't where I live, you don't get any of that stuff. So when I lived in Glasgow, delivery was about probably about $5 per delivery normally. I'm just trying to equate it's about 3 quid, which is about $5. But where I am now, we don't have Uber, we don't have Uber Eats, we don't have, DoorDash, we don't have anything like that. So, yeah, I live in a very rural part of Wales, and none of that stuff exists. If I was to say to somebody, "Do you want to DoorDash something?" About "Door what? A door what?" I don't even have Domino's delivery. I have to travel half an hour if I wanna get it. They said that we're too far away for delivery. So, when Domino's don't deliver, you're having problems. But if I moved half an hour into town, that side, then I would have it. My eldest niece had tried, Uber Eats for the first time today, and actually, so she bought some dough balls for, like, 2 quid, which is about $3, and the delivery was, £2, so about $3 it was for delivery of, like, this dough thing. Alright, it's now 8 o'clock. Let's start this anyway, we can still chat, but let's start it. Otherwise, we're gonna be late. Oh, now I've done that. Hang on, I'll get this. I don't order from delivery. The delivery charges end up costing more than your meal, and you end up paying double what you pay if you picked it up yourself. Yeah, I well, I say we don't even have the option, you know? If we want anything like that, we have to go and pick it up anyway. So, it's madness, but yeah, we don't have it. Alright, present, share screen, Timothy Simpkins trial, share. Let's get it. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let me get my banner. Hey, hey, support the channel. You can now join and become a member. Just click that join button. I think everyone in here is a member, so it's all good. I'll still put it up for those that are not members. Right, here we go. Zoom up as
solemnly
well.
swear affirm the testimony you're about to give and the content on file will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. All right, okay, down, have a seat. Make sure you listen to the entirety of the questions.
It's my bad. I've just pushed it up to 600 now. Oh, why does it do this? And as soon as I stop screen, it comes back to normal. StreamYard's a bugger.
Back, you definitely understand
Settings 1.5.
what you're saying, okay? All right, yes, sir. You're waiting. Good morning. Morning. Will you introduce yourself to the members of the jury, please? My name is Jeremy Walker. I'm a coach and teacher at Timothy.
Oh my days. And it works. As soon as I stop screen, it works.
How many years have you taught there at Timberview?
4. This will be my 5th.
How many years have you been in teaching
20.
and coaching?
20.
Okay. What do you coach?
I currently coach girls basketball.
And you're still teaching English, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to take you back to October the 6th, 2021. At that time, was your classroom number 2037?
Correct.
All right. And that's on the second floor at Timberview, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that particular morning, did something unusual catch your attention while you were in your classroom?
Yes.
What was that?
I was calling parents, and I guess the bell had just rang for second period. I was actually supposed to be in basketball, but I stayed and I started calling parents, telling them about the grades and missing assignments, things like that. And then I heard someone screaming, and it was a female screaming for help. I didn't know who it was at first. So that's not normal. So I got up and went to my door, got to my door and realized
Sup, Lefty?
grabbed my keys from my desk. And then I went out and walked down the hall towards and it was when I opened the door, it was Miss Altman in the hallway. She was in the hallway.
How far from Ms. Altman's classroom is your classroom?
In a matter of feet. So the length of the hallway, I'm at the beginning by the stairwell. She's about halfway down. So
Hi, Farrell.
the length of the hallway, she's halfway. So I don't know.
So when you walked out into the hallway, you already saw her standing in the hallway?
Correct.
Okay. And did you see any other teachers walking towards her classroom?
Yes.
Who did you see?
As I'm walking, Mr. Pettit comes out in front of me, and he looks at me and is like, "What's going on?" I tell him, "I don't know." And so he walks in front of me. He's probably 5 feet in front of me, maybe 10, maybe enough for us to have a conversation that quick and not have to raise our voices. So we were pretty close.
Did you have to return to your classroom briefly, and he was ahead of you to get your keys?
No, I didn't leave the classroom. I went to my door, and when I got to my door, I was about to leave and realized I didn't have my keys, so I went back to my desk. So I was in my room, and then when I came out and was walking down the hall, by the time I got to him, he was coming out of his classroom.
And this issue with the keys is kind of an important deal. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because if I would have had my keys at first, I
That's
was
speculation.
I don't see how it calls for speculation.
if I had gone back to my keys, I would have been in front of it because I would have been out of the room before him. I would turn to the classroom first.
If you had not had to go back to get your keys out of your doorway, it would have been you who entered the classroom instead of Mr. Pettit. Objection, speculation.
I'm not sure about speculation, but that's the way it was going with the leading question. As long as you try to keep it on.
I'm trying to clarify what you were explaining before about having to go back for your keys.
Correct.
Explain that a little further.
So what I'm saying, so my desk to my room door is probably from me to that camera. And so I walked all the way over, realized I didn't have my keys. I started to go out the door, and then I walked back, and then I walked back out the door to the door. So from going over, back and over, that time I would have got to the classroom before.
And we had a conversation previously about who would have been first into the classroom, you or Mr. Pettit, is that correct?
Correct.
And if you had not returned for your keys, perhaps you would have been in the place that Mr. Pettit is in. Objection, speculation, and leading.
Just clarifying what the witness said. Speculation is overruled. Leading. Yes. All right. Sustain. We get it.
Do you have an opinion about whether or not you would have entered that classroom first if you had not returned for your keys?
I think so.
So, do you hear gunshots?
No, when I walk out, so I walk out and I'm walking down the hallway. And so Pettit's classroom is on my left. Miss Altman's classroom is on my right. Pettit is 2 doors down from Altman. Towards me, 2 doors towards me. So I'm walking right before I get to Pettit's room. He comes out and walks in front of me. And then he goes, the door is open like this because the door is open into the hallway. They don't open inside the classroom. So always on the right. I mean, the door's on the right and it's open like this. So I can only see the door. I can't see in the room. Pettit disappears behind the door in front of me.
What happens next?
It's a little girl standing right here looking into the classroom. And I asked her, I said, what are y'all doing? Like, what's going on? Because I can't see anything. Whatever's happening, Altman is in the hallway and I can't see in the classroom. I don't see anything in the classroom. All I know is chaos in the hallway. And so some kids try to come out of Crochet's room. I was like, hey, y'all just go back. Just mind your business. Just go back. So I told them to go back because her room was right here. And so right before I was about to grab the door handle to pull it, the little girl's face changes. Because at first she was laughing. She was like, laughing. And then her face just completely changed. It just like went blank. I was like, what's going on? And that's when I saw a couple of people. I looked around the door and I saw a couple of people run out of the classroom. And so right when I was about to grab it, boom, I took off back to where I came from. So
Have you heard gunshots by the time you start running?
the gunshots caused me to run.
Okay. How many gunshots did you hear?
Where I'm from, you hear one is enough.
Okay.
So the first one, and I took off. Now, at that point, my mind goes silent, so I'm just running. And Miss Delgado is back down the hall. She's frozen on the wall. And I'm just like, run. She don't move. So I run past her. I try to grab her. Sorry, Miss Delgado, I'm moving. So she stayed there. And I ran around the corner and I turned left down the ECHS hallway and I started yelling shelter in place because there was gunshots. So as I'm running, I get past ECHS to the commons, the top of the commons, and I'm still yelling. And I see Gaither downstairs, Officer Gaither. He's the SRO.
Who's Officer Gator?
He's one of our SROs on campus. And I yelled down at him, shooting shots fired. He just kind of looked at me like, what? And I was like, shots fired, somebody shoot. And by that point, LaRue, other SRO, popped up behind me. And when he was standing there, he was like, where? And I actually said 21 hall, which is opposite end of the building. But then I pointed and was like, no, English. It's down in English. So he went back down. He actually went back down to ECHS hallway. And by that time, I realized I kind of realized it was people were shooting, and I was in the middle of the hallway. So I tried to find somewhere to go.
This time, were you down on the first floor?
No, I never made it to the first floor.
Okay. Did you try and shelter in place yourself?
Yeah.
Where did you go? What did you do?
So once I realized it was the middle of the hallway, it's not funny, I'm sorry. But as I got to the commons and then LaRue left, I was kind of breathing real hard because I'm old and fat and I ain't been in hard in a long time. So I realized I was standing in the hallway and I needed to go somewhere. Well, my classroom is back where they were shooting. And I don't have any kids in my room because I was supposed to be in basketball. So I didn't want to go back there. So I ran the opposite direction and I ended up at the first door I come to is one of the associate principal officers or assistant principal officers. And I got to the door and Miss Underwood was standing in the door. Our doors have the little glass windows. And she looked me dead in my face, closed the door, locked it, and said, I'm sorry, and ran.
Did she mouth, I'm sorry?
Yeah. Because she didn't know what was going on.
Objection, speculation, and narrative.
Next question.
Miss Underwood would not let you into her room?
No, she would not. She's the secretary in the office for the principals, and she just closed the door and locked it. And so I was standing there, and then it took me a second to realize that I have a master key, so I just opened it behind her, and closed the door and locked it, and then we sheltered in place together. So she kind of, I tease her now because she locked me out, but it is what it is.
Is that protocol?
It is protocol.
Yeah, it might be protocol, but what a bitch. I mean, he's right there. Just let him in. What are you doing? Why is she not like he's in the window? No one's around. Just let him in through the door. Sorry, can't let you in. Protocol. Bugger off. Open the door quickly. Let him get in. Shut the fucking door. I wouldn't be livid if I was him. He's quite relaxed about it. I would be absolutely tamping.
And that's why I wasn't mad. She did what she was supposed to do. She has a radio, so she heard everything. And then she got up, and by the time I got to her, she had got up and locked in. She was in the process of locking her door and turning the lights
The
out.
process.
I tease her now, but she did what she was supposed to do. And that's why I wasn't mad at her.
Oh, he's still mad. He's still mad.
While you're in Miss Underwood's classroom, describe what's going on inside that classroom. What you're doing, what the other students are doing.
So
I'll put my feet
where
there.
she is the office. So it's not
Sorry if I go
any
sleep.
students
Wake me up.
in the office. There are no office aides. It's just her. And the two APs who shared office, they were in here. And so it was just me and her. So once I got in, she was already, like I said, she had turned the lights out, which is protocol. And she was sitting, like hiding in the corner. And I just went and found her. I literally crawled on the floor and she was crying, so I heard her. So I just crawled over to her. And we both sat there and held hands and we really cried together because we didn't know what was going on. And then I realized I was supposed to be in basketball and I couldn't tell my girls. And so in the gym, you don't always hear announcements because we're practicing. And then all I knew was a school shooting. So I couldn't tell them.
Thanks, Sarah.
And I left my phone on my desk in my classroom. So I could have called them. So now I was trying to sit there and try to figure out how to tell the girls. So that I could. So that was a little rough. I didn't know what's happening.
Were you trying to reach your family?
Yeah, but I couldn't because I got my phone. And So it took me a few minutes to calm down. I realized that I actually knew my wife's phone number, which is rare. So I crawled over to the desk and pulled the phone under the desk with me, and I called my wife, tried to calm down, but apparently she said I was not calm. And I told her that I was okay, and that I left her a message because she didn't answer because she didn't recognize the number. She's a teacher also, and she was at work on the other side of town. She at the time she taught me ski. So
I'm gonna object to narrative.
That's the same. Just try to make sure you answer the questions that are asked, and she'll ask you the next question. So, okay.
gotcha.
Your question.
Coach, did you finally reach your wife or family?
No, I had to leave voicemail.
As a witness.
Cross-examination.
Mr. Walker, how long have you worked for Mansfield ISD?
4 years, about to be 5.
Are you all trained about how to handle fights at school?
No,
So each teacher just has to use their own discretion in how they handle these things.
as far as I know.
Are the school resource officers in Mansfield allowed to break up fights?
I guess I've never been a resource officer. I don't know.
Okay. And in regards to in the hallway when you saw kind of getting chaotic, you mentioned on direct that you did see another young girl in the hallway. Did you know her name?
No.
Okay. And this is the girl that you said that was living in the classroom?
Yes,
Okay. Was she filming anything while she was in the hallway?
don't remember her having a phone.
Okay. And when you saw Mrs. Altman in the hallway, did she ask you to do anything?
No, she was not me specifically. She was just asking for help. She was screaming, "Help me, help me!" And then she was just upset. And she was in the hallway, and then she was trying to direct her other students that were in the hallway.
And which hallway did you initially say you were in when this happened?
The English room. Sorry,
Turn that off.
I got you. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm on 20. My room is 2037. So if you haven't seen Timberview, it's a hallway like this.
Awkward.
It's a long hallway. It has classrooms on both sides, and then there's two cross-section hallways go to the parallel hallway. It's almost like a letter, capital H, but it has 2 cross hallways instead of 1. So I'm at the end of this hallway, and it goes all the way to the length of the hallway. So I walk out of my classroom and walk down towards Miss Altman. So I pass the first cross section, and her hallway is at the second cross section. I mean, her classroom is at the second cross section.
May I approach the witness room?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Walker, I am showing you what has been pre-marked as state's exhibits number 1 and number 2.
Sorry, did you mark them as defense exhibit?
Defense exhibits, sorry. In regards to the first exhibit, can you tell me what that is?
It's a map of the school, first school.
Okay, and is it an accurate diagram of what Timberview High School looks like?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, has it been altered in any way since the incident happened? It's a kind of a silly question, but has the school changed or made any improvement that we can't see on this map? Just a
Oh.
baseline diagram.
No,
Okay, in regards to defense exhibit number 2, what are we looking at here?
it is the second floor of the school and a picture of the gym.
Okay, and is that the same gym that you all practice in?
Yes.
And is your classroom indicated on defense exhibit number 2?
Yes.
Defense offers state's exhibit, defense exhibit number 1 and 2. Consider the code of counsel.
No objection.
Defense exhibit 1 and 2 are admitted.
Okay, so on defense exhibit number 2, so can you tell us where is your classroom?
23rd, right?
Okay, and can you please go ahead and,
Slow down just a bit.
can you please go ahead and publish to the jury by holding?
Oh. It's right here,
Okay, and so you're at the end of the hallway.
correct,
Where's Miss Altman's classroom in relation to yours?
right here.
I hate
So
this.
opposite end.
It's about halfway.
Can't even see it.
It's in front of the girls' restroom.
And how long would you say, what is the distance between the two of those?
That's what I said earlier. I don't know how long it is in feet. I mean, I don't know how long the classroom, hallway is.
In your initial report, do you recall, thank you for that, sir. Do you recall when you first talked to the detectives about this case, where you stated that you were located?
That's it again.
When you first talked to the detectives about this case, do you remember where you told them you were when this incident happened? What hallway were you in?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
which hallway were you in?
The English hall.
Okay, on which end?
When it started at the beginning,
Yes.
in my classroom,
Okay, and so how were you able to see what was going on in her classroom?
I just said I never saw in the classroom. I came out of the door, walked down the hallway, and before I actually looked in the classroom, there was a shot. And so I never actually got in the classroom.
In the initial report, when you first talked to the officers, did you state that you were in hallway 21, the 21 wing versus the 22 wing?
No, when I said when I was running, and Officer LaRue came up, I told him the wrong hallway. I was like, hey, it's 2100. Then I pointed at the English hallway. I said, no, it's the English hallway. It's 2100. It's oh,
You guys 2100 as well.
mad.
Yeah, just slow down when you're talking. Your words start to go so fast.
Sorry.
That's it. Actually, next question.
Okay, so you told the resource officer to go to the 21 wing, which is the math wing.
Originally, yes.
Okay, and did you say that just out of panic and fear at that time?
I was confused. I said the wrong number. Then I corrected it. It was like, no, English.
And just to clarify, you didn't see any commotion actually in Miss Thomas' classroom, you just heard the yelling?
Correct.
Okay. And did you see any students in the hallways recording?
Not that I can remember. Like in the hallway,
Yes.
like I said, the kid tried to come out. A couple of kids tried to come out in Miss Crochet's room. And one of them, he came out. Of course, they all got their phones in. But he didn't make it out of the classroom. I actually told him to go back and close the door. So as far as anyone else, I don't remember anyone else except for the little girl, and I don't remember the phone in her hand.
No further questions from the defense. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Redirect. All
Thank you.
right, make this witness be excused.
Rest. Good. Happy days. That's why I like it.
Your testimony.
He does look young. Keaton was right. Next witness. If I think I'm losing my hair, fucking hell.
Okay, please call your next witness.
Still called Jason Fernandez.
Jason Fernandez.
Oh, I'm still full from those tacos. Taco, 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 taco. Taco, 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 Irene. Love the tacos. I'm still full, Erin, honestly. Everybody.
Okay, you ready? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony that you're about to give in the call down trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Oh, come on up here and have a seat. As you're entering
No one's used this one for a while.
back of the room loudly, don't look slow down, and make sure that we understand. Okay?
Yes.
State your witness.
Everybody.
You ready? Yes.
Yeah.
You're in how you were.
Rock
My name is Jason Fernandez,
about
FDR, NAMDES. I work for the City of Arlington Police Department at the crime scene investigator.
All right, hold on. So when you spell and do things like that, you can so fast. Talk all the way back. Okay? Don't talk into that thing. Sit back and talk to the back of the courtroom. That'll slow you down. Go ahead.
How long you been in Arlington?
13 years,
How long have you been doing crime scene?
24 years.
What did you do before you went to crime scene?
I worked as a records clerk.
You helped do a search in relationship to this case, is that right?
Yes,
Where'd you go?
3030 Claremont Drive, apartment 1109.
You said 1109?
Yes,
For our purposes, you ended up searching one of the bedrooms, is that right?
I collected items from the vendors. I did not search them.
I understand. And remember what the judge? Show you what I've marked for identification. It says 149, 148, and 150. Tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, I do.
These are photographs.
Yes,
And this is photographs of a gun that you collected there, correct?
yes.
Judge We're going for states 148, 149, 150.
Oh, I hope there's not more testimony. Jesus.
148 to 150 are admitted.
Permission to hold the phone? Looking at 148, where was this firearm collected from?
From the master bedroom closet on a shelf.
It's up underneath.
Correct.
We're going to say it's 149, removed or whoever sat on top of it, removed it, so you can get a better picture of it, is that correct?
Correct.
Whose apartment was it?
I do not know.
Can we get a bigger screen? You can just show us all, though.
Looking at states 150. What are we looking at?
That is the handgun after it's been removed and rendered safe.
Why is there one bullet sitting out?
That was the live round that was in the chamber.
What kind of gun is it?
It's a Glock, model 21, 45 caliber.
And you also found another magazine.
What's that?
goes-
What's that face?
Is that correct?
Oh,
And when I talk about magazine, for those who don't know anything about guns, this is a magazine.
Yes,
Where was that other magazine found?
in the same bedroom on the dresser.
Was it loaded?
Yes.
I'll show you what we marked for identification purposes. That states 18. Do you recognize this box? Yes. Just for purpose of record, the firearms in this box has been previously made safe by your bailiff. Okay. All right, so stage 18 is the box that the gun was put into. Yes.
Neutral face. I've never seen that before.
18B, firearm. Correct. This is the same firearm that we just saw in those photographs and that you recovered from that report for me. Yes. States 18C is the magazine that we just saw in that photograph. Is that correct? Yes. 18D is a 18D is exemplars from the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office. Is that correct? Yes. You didn't place those there. Those come from the ballistic expert who did some test fire. Correct. Okay. Because we are going to offer states 18 for the record only. We're going to offer states 18B and 18C for all purposes and 18D for the record only.
You're offering B and C for all purposes and D for the record and A and 18 for the record.
Yes, sir. And states 18A is the packaging that was inside the box or from that for the record only.
All right. Any objections to B and C?
It says no objection.
All right. Those be admitted.
Just permission to publish the whole. Okay, so this is the block that you were referring to earlier that you found. Yes, this is the magazine that goes with it. Yes, we have the end, but it's in another package, is that right? Yes. And for the jury, when we say it's been made safe, there's a pin tie where they keep it from being fired or operated. Correct. You just want to just
Oh, don't take too long, man. 1.5 speed, yes, then. I don't know how they do with the transcribers, like, when they pop, 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 pop. Must be well trained to do that job. It's like Christmas, all these parcels. Why is he zooming into her tits? Like, I don't get that. That's it. Come back. Bum, 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 bum. Here we
you
go.
recognize states 19? Yes. What is it?
It's the 8 rounds of ammunition that were removed from the handgun.
The one with it states 18. Yes. And for purpose of record, states 19 is the envelope that you put them into, while states 19A is the actual ammo. Is that correct? Yes. Judge, we're going to offer states 19A for all purposes and states 19.
Okay.
States 19 is admitted to the record. States 19A is admitted.
Permission to hold.
Yeah.
So, jury understands what caliber
45 caliber?
is that? You know anything about ammo?
I do.
Okay. And looking at this ammo, what is it about it?
The hollow point
What does that mean?
means that it's designed to expand upon impact.
Is there a copper jacket on the outside?
Yes.
When you say designed to expand on impact, what is that?
That if you look closely at the tip, there's small little grooves. So as it impacts something, it mushrooms out and expands.
So the copper jacket will come apart and the lead core will keep going.
Correct.
What's the purpose of that?
Increase ballistic velocities and impact damage.
Makes a bigger hole.
Yes.
These evidence is a nightmare. Come on, son.
Showing now we've marked for identification purposes stage 20. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the magazine, the Black 45 magazine that's collected from the dresser.
I know they're gonna do it, but come on.
States 20 is the packaging that was in, and states 20A is the actual magazine itself. Is that correct?
Correct.
And now stage 21. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is that?
That is the ammunition that was removed from this magazine.
Stage 21 is the packaging it was in, and states 21A is the actual ammo. Is that correct?
Correct.
Judge, we will offer states 20 for record only, 20A, the magazines for all purposes, states 21 for the record only, states 21A for all purposes.
Any objections to 20A or 21A?
Okay.
20A and 21A are admitted.
If I knew he was only, I mean, he is an important witness, so I can't do anything about it. What kind of
Yes,
poll do we
admitted
want
once was
then?
offered for the record.
To keep us entertained.
Looking at the ammo that was found, I'm gonna use the term spare magazine. Is that hollow point or what kind of ammo is it?
That is considered ball.
What's the difference between that and the hollow point?
That is a solid bore.
Ooh.
It'll make a hole, but just won't expand like the hollow point.
Correct.
How many rounds were in the spare magazine?
9,
How many were in the gun?
7 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber.
So a total of 8?
Correct.
Total 17?
Correct.
How many will that magazine that was in the handgun, how many will it hold?
13,
So you, how many here?
7 plus 1.
Plus 1, so total of 8, it'll hold 13.
Correct.
The spare magazine, how many will it hold?
10,
And how many were in?
9.
That's it.
Cross-examination?
Yes, it's pretty good. So, Officer Hernandez, you were told by which detective to go to, 3030,
My sergeant told me to respond to assist the detectives.
and who's that, like?
Sergeant McGee,
So you get a call, are you at the PD or you somewhere else on another call?
at the time that she told me to go to the apartment, I was at the station.
You go from station to the apartment, officers already there?
Officers, detectives, yes.
And so your job was to go photograph,
Photograph,
collect evidence,
collect,
you get the gun, and a clip on the nightstand.
yes.
So just from your testimony here, your role, you don't know that, you don't know how many clips were taken to, Timothy High School leads.
No.
So the one you found in the bedroom could have been left at 3030, correct?
Good enough.
So once your role at collecting evidence is over, what do you do next?
In this particular case, after collection, I bring it back to the station. I did additional documentation, and then the items were turned over to another CSI.
Which is, I was going to turn it over to.
Newquist? Newquist?
And so he has a different role than what you played. You collected, you turned it over to him, and what's his duties and responsibility?
They or she then packaged and processed.
And so once they're packaged and processed, are they taken somewhere or are they kept in Arlington evidence lockers?
They are turned into our property and evidence division.
Other questions?
Any redirect?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you for your testimony. Maybe.
Fun.
maybe-
Good.
For today.
You might need him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you're excused until you're asked to come back.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
For today, okay, interesting. So he'll be back again.
Call you next witness.
Today we called Sean Tobias.
Is Sean
Guess who's
Tobias?
back?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Mr. Tobias, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give and cause down trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, see. I'm gonna ask you to do a couple of things. Make sure when you answer a question, you answer it out loud and answer all the way to the back of the courtroom. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You can't hear me say it like that.
Yes, sir.
There you go. And then make sure you listen to the entire question, ask the state person, talk over them, and they'll talk over you, and same for defense, okay?
Yes, sir.
State your words.
Can you, for the court reporter's benefit, spell your first and last name?
Spell my first last name, B-A-R-S-H-A-W-N, it's Sean Tobias, T-O-B-I-A-S.
Mr. Tobias, do you know the defendant in this case?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury how you know him.
I used to date his sister, and me and his sister had a baby together.
Did you and his sister live together?
Yes, at one point.
Back on October 6th of 21, did y'all live together?
Yes.
What was that address?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was it an apartment?
Yes, sir, it was an apartment though.
Near Arlington?
Yes, sir.
The apartment that was ultimately searched by the police, was that your apartment?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was it 4180 LaLosse Street, apartment 1109?
Yes, sir.
And he lived there with his sister?
Yes, sir.
Did he live there with you?
No, sir.
What kind of car did the defendant drive?
I believe a great charger, but they drive multiple vehicles because whatever they need to do to get back forward to school.
Hold on. So as you keep talking, we cut this off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I heard you, but talk all the way through, all the way to the back, okay? Please ask your next question.
You said he typically drove a gray Charger, but sometimes he might drive somebody else's car.
Yeah, his grandmother's vehicle.
Hold on. Talk loud. You're talking, no, hold on. You're talking in the microphone. I need you to project your voice.
Oh,
You're talking to me without the microphone, okay?
All right, first witness.
You may.
Yeah, I have that. This thing. Is
appreciate it.
that better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now then, you lived there with his sister. Did y'all have a child?
Yes, sir.
At the time, did y'all have a kid?
Yes, sir. We did.
Boy or girl?
Girl,
How old?
she was newly born, basically. Oh, not even 1 year.
Now then,
Right, this trial is weird. And talk about weird. Here she is. Weirdo herself. Luna, 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 Luna. How we doing, Loons?
I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you what's been entered into evidence. It states 18B. Was this your gun?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen it before?
No, sir.
Was this gun kept at your apartment?
No, sir.
Did you keep or have any Glock magazines at your apartment?
No, sir.
So if they were found at your apartment, somebody else put them there.
Yes, sir.
And you're aware that the police searched your apartment the day of the shooting.
Yes, sir.
That's where they found that gun.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Well, they didn't tell me what they found in there, but whatever they found.
They searched your apartment the day of the shooting.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I know that because I had to take off work to actually come and let them in before they broke down the door.
whatever they pulled out today is what they found.
Yeah, I also had firearms too, so I didn't know what firearms they was. I thought it was just mine.
If we found a judge, we watched this judge. I won't name her, but she has awesome handbag collections, and all the women here love her trials. So if you've not seen her, then you won't be able to vote for her. But she's amazing.
Return to yours.
Yes, sir, they did.
But I think everyone prefers these type of trials.
And you saw the defendant's Charger at your apartment.
Yes, sir.
The gray Charger.
Yes, sir.
And was it normally parked there?
No,
He didn't live with you.
no,
He didn't live in the same apartment complex.
no, sir.
Where did he live?
Oldest grandmother
Where was that?
in Mansfield.
That's witness.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Ms. Shalon.
Good morning, ma'am.
When this incident happened, you were at work, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How far do you work from where you live?
I'm really like mobile, so wherever my job is at the moment. So I was really like almost 2 hours out.
And you and Raven live together, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you got there, Raven was there, correct?
No,
Did the doorbell ring that day?
no.
Okay, so when you came back home, was Raven there?
Yeah, I'm in the parking lot.
Okay, and Raven is Tim's sister, correct?
Yes,
So Raven could have let him in, correct?
maybe. I don't know what she was that day.
And Tim doesn't have a key to your house, correct?
I leave the key. So I had a dog, so I leave my key on the back porch because I let people house in my house and let my dog out, so he won't use the bathroom inside the house. Because sometimes Raven do leave and go by her grandmother's house during the day, so she can have an assistant with the baby at the time.
One moment, Your Honor. Was Raven at home when you went to work that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Does Raven have a car?
No, ma'am.
And you would agree with me that if Raven needs to go somewhere and you're not around, it's either Miss Lily or it's Tim that picks her up, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
Any regret?
No, sir.
Witness be excused.
Subject to recall.
No objection for the defense.
All right, you are released. If you get a call to come back, I'll let you come on back, okay? Hopefully that won't happen, but if it is, we'll see you then. Thank you. All right, please call your next witness,
State Car Officer Newquist.
Officer Newquist.
Officer Newquest. Yeah, so I like these trials as well. Hopefully, this won't be a long trial. I don't think it will be the way they're
You solemnly swear
whizzing
affirm the
through
testimony
it.
that you're about to give and the cause and trial will be true,
It's nice to
the whole
get a
truth, and nothing but the
mix
truth,
of
so help
stuff.
you
Do you know what I
I
mean?
do.
God. All right,
I do. Oops, she's been married. I do.
Okay.
State your witness.
Can you introduce yourself to the jury and tell them how you're employed?
My name is Nicole Newquist. I'm currently employed with the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office. Prior to that, I was actually working for the Arlington Crime Scene Department.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
I'm sorry. My name is Nicole. I work with the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office currently. Prior to that, I actually worked with the Arlington Police Department Crime Scene Unit.
How long did you work as a crime scene officer?
I was with Crime Scene for 11 years.
So on October 6th of 21, you were a crime scene officer.
Yes, sir.
And first witness, Judge? For our purposes, what was your role in this case?
I handled the suspect. I took gunshot residue, collected his clothing. I did some evidence processing.
When you say suspect, you're referring to the defendant.
Yes, sir.
What day did you come in contact with him?
It was October 6th, 2021.
And about what time?
About 13:45 hours.
For those.
I'm sorry, 1:45 p.m.
Okay, 13:45 is military time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so used to using that.
It's okay. Where did you come in contact with him at?
He was at the North Police Station at that time.
Do you know if he turned himself in?
I was told that he had.
Okay. Do you see him in the court today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If my chair is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going across the court to your left, what chair number is he in?
Number 5.
Is he, what color suit is he wearing?
He's wearing kind of a gray tan.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
All right. Now then, I'm gonna show you some photographs.
Mhm.
Let me show you. We marked
Okay.
142 through 145. Tell me if you recognize that individual.
I do.
What was the purpose of you taking photographs?
To document who the individual was, and so that I knew if I ever had to come testify, that I could put a face with the evidence that I collected.
Does it also document any injuries he has or does not have?
Yes.
Do these pictures that we just identified fairly accurate show the way he looked on October 6th?
Yes. Yes.
Judge, we're going to offer states 142 through 145 inclusive.
Here we go. More bloody evidence. Right. Chair back.
142 through 145 are admitted.
Permission to publish by holding.
You may.
Showing you, this is states 142. This front picture.
Oh, yes.
Did you see any visible injuries on his face or head?
He had a little like contusion on the upper right side of his head, but that was it.
There you go, Luna. On a new chair, a TV, cabinet, my sofa's behind me.
Okay, 143 is that the contusion you're referring to?
Happy days, signs, flowers. He was not there yesterday.
What else did you do
With him or with the case in general?
with him?
With him, I
Happy
collected
days.
gunshot residue samples.
So maybe I've seen that on TV,
Mhm.
but tell us what that is and what that means for you.
What it is it's we do 3 little stubs, one for each hand and one across the nose and cheeks. And it's got a little, it's kind of like a little stamper, but it's got a sticky end to it. And what we do is we stick it along the skin and it collects any gunshot particles that may have been remaining from firing a firearm.
Is there any particular place on the hand that you want to run the GSR on?
We focus on the areas
Thank
that are going to be
you.
closest to the gun.
Thank you, everyone.
So like in the crook of a hand, along the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, and along the wrist.
Appreciate the comments. Thank you very much.
You marked as 18B, so the way you described it,
I
I'm
tried to
holding
please.
a handgun, you want to run along.
Please
the
to
crook
try.
of The gun would be
Correct.
along the wrist.
Yeah, because it may blow back into that area.
When the slide comes all the way back,
Low back.
you can get that on your wrist.
Correct.
I'm going to show what we marked for identification purposes as stage 26. Do you recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
This is the bag that I packaged the gunshot residue samples in.
Now then, we see some red, I'm going to call it tape on there.
Mhm.
That's y'all's,
Yes, the red's ours.
because it said Arlington Police Department, right?
Correct.
And we see some yellow tape on there.
Yes, sir.
Whose is that?
That would be the company that processed it. In this case, it would be the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office that processed it.
We know that too because it says Tarrant County Medical Examiner on there. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
So you package it, you seal it, it goes to the crime lab, they would then open it, do whatever testing they're going to do, and then reseal it with the yellow tape.
Yes, sir.
I'm now showing you stage 26A. Do you recognize these?
I do.
Are those the actual collection, the 3 collection stubs that you just described for us?
They are.
Okay, and you have them labeled as well?
I do.
How do you have them labeled?
I put the case number on it. I put my item number on it, and then I also indicate where they came from, whether they came from the right hand, the left hand, or the face. And I also put the individual that I collected them from.
And you do that at the time.
Yes.
And you see all those markings and descriptions that you previously described on 626A.
I do.
Did we're going for 626A for all purposes or 626 for record?
Thank you, Jamie. Hope you're well, Jamie.
All right. 26 is admitted for the record. 26A is admitted for all purposes.
Mr. Public Comment?
Yeah.
Each one's for the, one's for right hand, one's for left, one's for left.
Yes, sir.
I mean, literally it's quite as simple as unscrewing the cap and then running the tape
Yeah.
and dabbing it, pick up whatever particles are.
Please, my question to ask a question instead of testifying for the jury.
Yeah, please stop leading the witness.
It is literally that simple.
It is. It's just as simple as pulling the top off and dabbing it on the hands.
You put the cap back on there so there's no contamination.
Correct.
You did other things in this case, like assist with packaging and things like that, is that correct?
Correct.
But for what we're concerned about right now is just the GSR.
Correct.
Mr. Haslowitz?
Cross-examination.
So, did you ever go to the crime scene at all? You just, or you, everything you did at the lab or at AD?
I was at APD in the lab, and then that was it. Yes.
When was the first time you heard that something had occurred?
I got a phone call at 9:45 a.m.
So you got called at 9:45. What was the first thing you did after receiving that call?
I was at home at the time, so the first thing I did was get ready for work and report to work.
And during your time at work, you said at 13:45 hours, correct?
Yes,
At what time did you learn that Timothy had turned his in?
it would have been at 13:45 hours.
So no man went. Did you know that his mom arranged for him to turn himself in?
I did not.
And so you went to take pictures of him, correct?
I did.
And you said earlier, you talked about he had a contusion
Mhm.
on his temple, right?
Yes.
Define contusion.
Contusion is basically like a bruise.
But it involves injury, blood capillaries are torn, correct?
Yes.
So would you say that somebody getting stomped on the head causing a contusion, could cause a contusion, correct?
You could possibly.
And would you agree that stomping somebody in the head could cause devastating bodily injury?
I'm drinking cause for speculation.
It's overruled.
Okay.
Yes.
And at any time after you photographed him, was the jail staff alerted that he needs to see anybody for injury?
I don't know.
So after you did the Jeep handle,
Yeah.
so it's been marked as States Exhibit 26A. This is a GSR results, the testing of his clothes, et cetera.
It is a sample that I collected.
Okay. And on this, did you label this?
I did.
And is that your writing your name
The printed out portion is.
and your badge number?
Yes.
2774?
Yes, ma'am.
And on each one of these particular vowels, what's he charged with?
Aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault, deadly weapon, correct?
Yes.
And if you know, that's a second degree felony, right?
I am not aware of that. That's not my jurisdiction.
So he wasn't charged with attempted capital murder.
At that time, no.
So once you selected that, made the label with aggravated assault on it, what did you take those out? What did you put those out?
Once I collected them, I put them in the brown paper bag, sealed them up, and secured them in our locker until I submitted them to our property department.
Is it here at 401 West Carolina?
No, it's at 620 West Division Street.
And it remained there until today?
It remained there until the detective requested that it be submitted to the lab, in which case it was transported to the lab
And which lab was it?
at the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office.
You know what date that was done?
No, ma'am.
Redirect?
Yes, sir. Once you package those stuff, you put them in your evidence locker,
Yes, sir.
secure area,
Yes.
nobody else can get into it?
Nope.
I can't walk back here and just pull stuff off, even if I wanted to?
No.
This council was asking questions about what offense you put on your documentation. At 1:45 on October 6th, how many victims were you aware of?
To be honest, I don't remember how many victims have been involved in it. I knew there were multiple victims.
And is it your decision as to what offense somebody's charged with?
No, I usually go with the first offense that I'm told when it originally occurs, and sometimes it changes later on.
For the grand jury, in this office makes decisions on what someone should be charged with.
Correct.
Grand jury approves it, they indict somebody for that offense.
Correct.
That's what,
Jennifer, do you recall who the lead detective is on this case?
Give me just a second. No, ma'am, I don't.
But the lead detective in this case, or detectives, they make a decision whether the evidence out there.
section of relevance.
I'll let y'all go through that line of questioning, but it is irrelevant. It's the same.
Okay.
Okay, any redirect?
No, sir.
You may be excused. All right, please call your next witness.
Judge, I need a moment to see if my next witness is here, and we take a short break.
Sure. Let's go ahead and take our morning break, about 10 minutes.
All right.
I didn't catch that break, so I'll skip it now.
Thank you, sir. Say your words.
So can I just call you Mateo?
Yes, sir.
So I'll be butchering your last name.
It's a common thing that happens. It's okay.
All right, take my last name wrong, so I deal with everybody else's name. All right, how are you employed? What do you do?
I'm currently employed at the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office as a firearm and tool mark examiner.
What does that mean?
That means I examine any firearm-related evidence that's submitted to the lab for examination.
What education and qualification do you have that allow you to do that job?
In 2006, I obtained my Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of Stellenbosch in South Africa. In 2007, I joined the South African Police Service, through which I successfully completed a 3-year in-service training program that qualified me as a fully trained forensic firearms examiner. In 2011, I moved to South Dakota, where I work for the Attorney General's Office, specifically the Division of Criminal Investigation. And in 2019, I moved down to Texas, where I currently work.
Why in the world did you go to South Dakota?
That's where a job was.
It's cold up there.
I'm well aware now.
Well, it's hot here, but at least it's not cold.
I'll take that.
Okay. To maintain your job, is there any continuing education that you have to do, or any proficiency testing that you must maintain to keep your current job at the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
And tell us what that is.
We get proficiency tested in multiple disciplines, and continuing education just helps us to keep abreast of new developments in the field, new techniques, or new equipment.
Tell the jury what proficiency testing is.
Proficiency testing is where they see if you are still proficient or competent in doing the examinations that we provide.
And how do they do that?
We usually use a vendor, an outside vendor that submits tests to a bunch of labs, and then we complete the test, and we send the answers back to them, and then they let us know if you pass or fail.
Hi, Erin.
Is the known answers to them, they'll send you the gun or showcase more than they let you test it and examine it.
See you later, Erin.
Send them the answer, and they'll compare your answers with what they know the answer should be.
Correct.
And if you did well or pass, you keep your job. If you don't get to keep your job.
Something like that, yeah.
Since you still have your job, I think that you passed.
Yes, sir.
Now, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office in the firearm section, do they have any certifications through the Texas Forensic Science Commission?
Well, the crime lab at the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office is accredited by ANIB and by the Texas Forensic Science Commission.
And the day that you did the testing, or in this case, they started work at a certification as well, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So walk us through how you would do examination on shell casing.
First, when we receive the packaging, we make sure that the packaging is in sealed condition. We open the packaging, and then we document the condition of the evidence. So shell casings might have trace evidence such as blood. Then we document the class characteristics of the casing itself, which would be the caliber, and also the class characteristics of what the firearm imparted onto that fire cartridge case.
Tell the jury what class characteristics mean.
Class characteristics are predetermined features that a firearms manufacturer wants to have in his firearm. These include types of machining or just distinct features. For example, the firing pin aperture, which is a hole cut in the slide of the pistol through which the firing pin moves, can be circular, teardrop shaped, or rectangular. Caliber is also a class characteristic, so we evaluate those, and then if class characteristics are different, we can immediately conclude that it's two different firearms. If the class characteristics are the same, then we have to look at the individual or unique characteristics to see if it was fired in this specific firearm.
How does a mass-produced firearm have individual characteristics?
Individual characteristics happens incidental during the manufacturing process, unlike the class characteristics, which are predetermined and measurable. This is due to the fact that metals are not homogeneous. There's impurities in it. There could be bubbles in the metal. The tool as well has imperfections on the edge of it. So as the tool is moving over the piece, be it the slide or any component of the firearm, those marks are unpredictable and they change all the time.
They become individual to that particular firearm.
Yes.
Okay. What did you examine in this case?
In this case, I examined a firearm, cartridge cases, fired bullet jackets, a lead core, a fired bullet, and a fired bullet jacket fragment.
Took my I want to show you what we admitted. That states 18B. Do you recognize this firearm?
I do.
Did you examine that firearm?
Yes, sir.
And when was that?
I received the firearm on March 2nd and July 5th.
That's when you did your examinations?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you get ready to examine this firearm, do you see if it's a functioning firearm first?
Yes, the first thing I do, just like with the cartridge cases, I check for trace evidence, hairs, fibers, paint, blood. Then we do a preliminary function check, which means not firing it, no ammunition. In this case, with the firearm, you check if the barrel is obstructed or if any cracks. You check if the safety features work the way it should, if the trigger works the way it should. And then after that, after it's established that the firearm is functional, we test fired it into a water tank. And that's just to get bullets that's in a pristine condition so we can use that for comparison purposes.
It also gives you a shell casing that you can compare to other shell casings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was this firearm functional?
Yes, sir.
Now then, since I think you fired this gun, can you walk us through the process of how you go back, you want to fire this gun? What you have to do?
If I have it at the lab now.
At the lab anywhere. What's the process?
So this firearm came with a magazine. I loaded 2 cartridges in the magazine, inserted it into the firearm, pointed the firearm into the shooting tank, pulled the slide back and released it so that a cartridge from the magazine is fed into the firearm. I squeezed the trigger, it discharged, it extracted and ejected the fire cartridge case and fed a new cartridge from the magazine into the firearm. And I repeated the process, and that showed that the firearm functions the way it was designed.
You also talked about safety features. Is there any safety features trigger took a lot?
Yes.
What are they?
There are a few safety features. The first one is a trigger block, which is connected to the trigger. It prevents inadvertent movement of the trigger rearwards. The second feature is a firing pin block, which is inside of the slide. The firing pin is what's released and hits the back of a cartridge to detonate it and discharge the bullet. The firing pin block prohibits the firing pin from moving and hitting the cartridge. Then there's also a disconnect safety. That safety is twofold. It prevents the firearm from firing in full automatic or firing when it's out of battery. Out of battery means when the slide is not locked forward, and it prevents the buildup of gases towards the back and could potentially blow up the gun or injure the shooter. And then the last safety is the Glock drop action safety, which is a safety design that the manufacturers put in the firearm to make sure that it doesn't discharge when you drop it.
If I use the term trigger pull, that means to you.
Yes.
What's trigger pull mean?
An amount of force needed to release the firing pin to fire.
If I use the term double action only or double action, does that mean anything to you?
Yes.
What do those two terms mean?
So you get 2 types of actions regarding pistols. Generally, you get single action and double action. Single action is when you have to manually cock the hammer of a firearm. So, for example, the cowboy movies where you see them pulling the hammer back and shooting like that, that's single action. Double action is when you pull the trigger and it cocks the hammer and releases it in one movement.
Which one is this one?
We describe it as a double action, but it's more like a hybrid action because the firing pin is partially pushed back and then released, and not just released as in single action.
Is there anything about the length of trigger pull in the Glock when you first begin to pull it?
Yeah, I mean, you have a small, what we call creep, until it reaches the point where if you pull it any further, it will discharge.
Permission published, Judge. All right. You see this area right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that little button right on top of the trigger, what is that?
That's the trigger safety.
What does that mean?
That is to prevent the inadvertent rearward movement of the trigger unless that safety is depressed.
So when I begin, first I put enough pressure to get past that trigger safety.
There's not a lot of pressure just to move it back, but yes.
So then you then continue to pull the trigger.
You have to deactivate that to pull the trigger all the way rearward, yes.
Okay, and so what is the trigger pull weight of this firearm?
It was between 5.3 and 5.8 pounds.
And then for it to continue to fire again, do I have to let off the trigger?
Yes.
I mean, you said it's not fully auto, so I can't just pull the trigger back one time and it's going to keep firing.
No.
Okay, so I have to let off
Let go and squeeze again, yes.
and keep doing that. So if I fire 6 times, at 6 times I have to pull the trigger, let go, pull the trigger, let go, pull the trigger, let go, pull the trigger, let go. I think there's one more, pull the trigger, and let go.
Yes.
I'll show you state 18B. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What are those?
These are the test fire standards that I collected when I test fired the gun to check for functionality and also use the test fire standards for microscopic comparison purposes.
Now, we didn't open that, but tell us what is in there.
In this envelope are 4 bullets and 4 cartridge cases.
Can you see? For laymen, when they think of bullet, they think of a whole bullet. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about just the projectile itself?
No, so a cartridge, also known as ammunition, consists of a case, a primer, the powder, and the bullet. When I talk about the bullet is the projectile that leaves the barrel and hits the target. The cartridge case is what's ejected after it was fired.
So those are your test fires that you use to compare to everything else.
Yes, sir.
Now, you said you use a microscope to do it.
Yes, sir.
You don't just pick up and look with the naked eye and say these two things match. You actually get them under a microscope and compare them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
More evidence. Here we go. We love evidence. We can't even see the bloody thing.
How many shell casings did you compare to that Glock?
6 total.
How many projectiles did you compare to that Glock?
There were 3 5-bullet jackets and 1 5-bullet.
I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit 1. First of all, do you recognize State's Exhibit 1?
Yes.
Okay. This is the packaging that was one of the shell casings that you compared.
For shell casing that was labeled by our lab number 2, yes.
For the FBI, it's labeled number 1, but for you, it's number 2.
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 1B is the actual shell casing.
Yes.
Hi, Baker.
I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit number 2. Do you recognize that packaging again?
Yes, sir.
And for the jury's benefit, the yellow tape.
I was actually, Baker, the first one to give you a like today.
As you previously
I
described.
went there
with that
before
packaging, make sure it hasn't been tampered with,
you
it's still-
started.
And if it has
did my
been, you can
rounds.
document that and you may return it. If it hasn't been, then you continue your examination.
Yes, sir.
And all these items that we'll be talking about, that's the process you went through, and everything was sealed appropriately, and was labeled correctly, and you proceeded through testing.
Yes, sir.
And looking at 6.2, there's another envelope that's been labeled as 2A. You recognize that as well?
Yes.
2B is the shell casing associated with that. You recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, this evidence. Come on. I wish they could just
So
pick
you
up
take
the
three,
evidence and
you
go,
recognize this packaging?
Yes, sir.
Same question,
It's
same
all
answer
it.
as far as the packaging. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Same thing with 3A. 3B being the shell
we
casing.
are in, we're in Texas. This is near Arlington in
Yes.
Dallas. Yes, lawyer's kid, that's where we are.
I'm showing you now. What's been entered as a record as States 5. You recognize this? The packaging for that? If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah, usually with the packaging that we receive, we have our own label on it. And I don't see our label on this or me resealing this package. So
Okay. That's okay. Let me show you something. This has been previously admitted as having been collected at the same location where the shooting occurred. And it's been described as a leg fragment. How would you describe that?
it appears to be multiple lead fragments, yes.
Would that prevent you from able to do any testing and determine what firearm fired these leg fragments?
If these lead fragments are from a jacketed bullet, then there's nothing I can do with them.
Those are in too many pieces.
And they also don't make contact with the barrel.
Explain that to the jury. Why don't leg fragments make contact with the barrel?
So with jacketed bullets, there's a jacket on the outside that's usually made from copper or brass. The jacket is filled with lead. The lead gives it weight to travel forward. So it's almost like an M&M candy. The colored part of the candy is what makes contact with the barrel, and what's inside the candy does not. And we look at the marks that's imparted from the barrel on the jacket. So in the jacketed bullet, when we get lead fragments, since they don't make contact with the barrel, there's not much we can do.
You didn't do an examination.
That's interesting.
No, I do not.
I didn't know that. Oh, that makes sense, though, doesn't it?
This one? You see your yellow tape on it. In 6A, additional packaging, you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Again, we see your yellow tape and your initials.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In 6B, the copper jacket that you were describing earlier, you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you 6-7,
Jesus.
7A, and 7B. Now then, we do see your yellow tape on this packaging.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize?
Try not to fall
6-7B?
asleep. Again.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I'm not even tired.
This is a lead core.
Were you able to do any testing or examination on that?
No, sir.
Showing you state 8. Again, you recognize your yellow tape?
Yes, sir.
8A, additional packaging.
The only
inside.
thing
Again, you
I will
recognize your yellow tape.
don't dislike,
Your
don't
initials, your
dislike.
dates.
The only thing I dislike about this is that we
And
don't
weapon
actually get to
was
see
identified as state 8B.
the
You recognize that?
actual evidence.
Yes, sir.
How would you describe that?
It is a fire bullet jacket. In this instance, it's in 2 pieces. Since when I received the jacket, it was very mangled and folded over each other. And we have to fold it open to see if there are any marks that we can compare. And during this process, a piece broke off, but it was received as a single piece, as a fire bullet jacket.
Now I'm going to show you stage 9. 10 questions. The questions and answers are all the same as far as the packaging go, especially on anything that we see yellow tape on.
Yes, sir.
Stage 9, and now I'm showing you stage 9A. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
And that's a glass case with a shell casing in it, and the glass case itself has your yellow tape on it, your initials, and your date from when you did the examination.
Yes, sir.
He's out on bond, $75,000 bond.
Can I show you?
He
We marked the stage.
broke the bond,
Again, we see your yellow tape on the outside.
Yes, sir.
failed a drugs test or alcohol test, I think. So he's currently back out
Do you recognize that?
with electronic, what do you call it, ankle. But yeah, $75,000 they had to pay for him instantly
On the
to
showcase,
bond him out.
Yes, sir.
Again, the yellow tape on the glass, that's from you.
Yes, sir.
And your initials and date are on here as well.
Yes, sir.
No worries, lawyers, kids, all good.
Now showing what we've labeled as stage exhibit 11.
Yeah, 75K
11A.
wasted.
Do you recognize that?
I'm sure if there's, well, I don't know. This guy, just read your writing,
Yes,
sir.
That's a showcasing it.
Yes, sir.
And again, you recognize your yellow tape, your date, your initials on there as well.
Yes, sir.
Now showing we've entered evidence that states exhibit 12, 12A, and 12B. Do you recognize 12B?
12B or not
Yes,
to
sir.
be?
Again, the packaging is 12 and 12A. That's good.
That is the question.
Yes, sir.
And you recognize 12B. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is it?
It's a 5-bullet jacket.
Jesus, come on, dude.
Did you do any comparison to these items to 18B, that's Glock 45?
Yes, sir.
Did you come to any conclusions?
Yes, sir.
What conclusions did you come to in reference to that Glock 45 to those 6 shell casings?
I could identify that the cartridge cases were fired from the Glock firearm.
How were you able to do that?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the class characteristics were the same. And then when comparing the individual or unique characteristics, there was enough agreement in those marks for me to conclude they were fired in the firearm.
In reference to any of the copper jackets, were you able to make any or draw conclusions as to whether those come from that firearm?
I could not. They were inconclusive. They had agreement of class characteristics, but there was not enough agreement of unique or individual characteristics to identify it to the Glock pistol.
When you said there was agreement as to
Jamie.
tell me what you mean by that.
Jamie,
So class characteristics
Jamie.
is predetermined features that's measurable that the manufacturer wants
Jamie.
to have in their firearm.
Look at chat,
In this
Jamie.
instance, the rifling profile was 8 right hand twist, and the manufacturing process that they used is called polygonal rifling.
What does that mean?
You get conventional or polygonal rifling. So rifling are the helical grooves that's put inside of the barrel
Jamie,
to spin on the bullet, just like a quarterback
chat,
stabilizing a football when you throw the
please.
spiral. It can go either left twist or right twist. Conventional has got sharp shoulders, and it's usually by means of a cutting process that they impart these marks into the inside of the barrel. With polygonal, in this case, it's a process they call hammer forging. So they have a mandrel with the profile of the rifling on the inside of the barrel, and then they hammer the outside to smash the inside of the barrel basically onto the mandrel and they remove it. Those polygonal rifling characteristics are rounded and smooth. There's no distinct shoulders that you can see, unlike conventional rifling, which got distinct shoulders.
So looking at the copper jackets, you said they had the same class characteristics as that Glock 45. Is there other firearms that have that same class characteristic, or is it a limited number?
So doing a general rifling characteristic search in the database, there were only 4 models of Glock pistol and 3 models of Bersa brand pistols that have the same class characteristics as this Glock.
Where's this guy from, do you think?
In the lead forge, you weren't able to make any determination of it.
Nothing on the lead for, no.
When you fire a firearm, we sometimes see smoke come from the firearm.
From the muzzle, yeah.
If you're indoors firing a firearm, if you fire multiple times, that smoke tends to accumulate. Explain that to Drew. Why does that happen?
Well, when firing a firearm, the powder ignites inside of the cartridge case, and it builds up a lot of pressure and gas, and that propels the bullet down the barrel. Now, it's not just the bullet that comes out of the muzzle; it's partially burned and unburned powder, as well as carbonation materials that's in the form of vaporous lead, and that's the cloud that you would see.
And the more times you fire indoors, the more the clouds you'll see.
Yes.
I think you're okay, lawyers, kid.
President,
Yes, briefly, sir. What's your first name?
Mateo,
So the.
Where's he
Glock
from,
has a
Mateo?
same action system, right?
that's the drop safety, yes.
And would you say that it has a pretty fast reset?
I mean, we don't measure that. Reset just means that you have to release the trigger so that when you pull it, it releases the firing pin again.
And so it depends basically on just how fast you pull the trigger, right?
Well, you have to release it a certain amount. So, like I said, we don't measure that.
The only thing, lawyer's kid, he's got 8 charges.
Maybe it's an excuse.
He's a mistake.
8 charges.
Maybe it's you. Thank you for your testimony. My next witness.
They're called Vicky Hall.
Ms. Hall. Okay.
I think this is one of the first cases for this judge, I think. The 8th, though, I don't think lawyer's kid that he'd be found guilty for all of them, though.
The testimony that you're about to give and the cause now and trial. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. You have a seat. If you need to adjust that microphone, please do so. Take it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In reference to this case, you did some testing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When did you do the testing and where did you work?
The testing was completed in February of 2022. At the time, I worked at the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office and Forensic Laboratories in the trace evidence section.
Have you since retired?
Yes, sir, I have.
How long did you work or do forensic work?
In total, I worked in forensics for over 32 years. 10 years was at
I
Tarrant
see
County.
sweat.
And prior to that, I worked for Dallas County for 22.
So you came to us last,
Yes, in the last 10 years was at Tarrant County.
so you like working for Tarrant County better than Dallas, right?
I better not answer that question.
All right. So what training education did you have that allowed you to do forensic work?
Well, I have a bachelor's science degree in chemistry, as well as a master's in analytical chemistry. I've attended numerous workshops and training seminars in forensic sciences, including training courses at the FBI Academy. I've participated in annual proficiency testing, as well as training of several coworkers in areas of trace evidence. And I was a technical leader while I was at Tarrant County.
For us, you did the testing for the GSR, gunshot residue.
That is correct.
And what training education do you have that allowed you to do that?
Besides my education and my degrees, I participated in on-the-job training with coworkers. There was a dedicated training plan. I did attend training classes at the FBI Academy specifically for gunshot residue analysis, and also went to several workshops in that area. I went to a company that manufactured our instruments, went to their campuses and participated in training with them as well.
And you've had the opportunity to testify in reference to gunshot residue before, is that right?
Yes, I have.
Maybe a few times.
Well over 600 times.
We'll make 601 for that.
So,
You mentioned proficiency testing, and the jury's already heard what that is. Prior to the testing that you did in this case, you had done your proficiency testing and you passed, I think.
yes, I did.
And at the time that you did your testing, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office, did it hold any certifications or accreditations as it related to gunshot residue testing?
Yes, the laboratory itself was accredited, and then I also held a state license through Texas Department of Public Safety.
And they had the same accreditation from the same agency.
Yes.
Just my first witness.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what we've already admitted. This case 26 and 26A. Tell me if you recognize these.
Yes, sir, I do.
Those are stubs to collect GSR.
Yes, 26 is the envelope or kit that it was contained in, and 26A is a plastic bag that contains 3 gunshot residue stubs.
And you recognize the bag.
Yes, I recognize the stubs. They have our case number, item numbers, and my initials, as well as the item 26, which is the package.
Again, we see yellow tape on there from the medical examiner's office. That number, y'all.
Yes, this yellow tape is the evidence tape where I sealed the packaging once my analysis was complete.
The jury's already heard that when you initially get the packaging, it's sealed. If it's not, you document that and may even return it to them to see because it could be tampered with.
That's correct. I make notations of whether the evidence is sealed or not upon my receipt. When I receive it from our evidence registration department, it must be in sealed condition. And then once I start my analysis, I do notate the seal.
It was sealed properly.
Yes,
And when you began to look at the stubs, the caps were on them correctly.
yes.
So there's no issue about cross-contamination from one stub to the other.
Not once it reached me, no.
Now then, so how would you begin an analysis in reference to stage 26A?
Well, once I notated the packaging, I opened this brown paper sack, inventoried the items, which were 3 GSR stubs, and then I labeled them with our case number, item number, and initials and date of exam. And then I used just a regular stereo microscope and looked at the surface of these stubs, which is a thumbtack that looks like it has double-sided sticky tape on it, and just to look for any obvious residue that might be present. Is there a lot of dirt or fibers that might be present? And then notated that.
Once that was complete, then I proceeded to apply a very fine layer of carbon on the surface of these stubs. And that's for the type of testing that we do. I don't want an electrical charge to build up, and so that carbon kind of gives it a grounding effect.
And then what do you do?
Then I take the stubs and I place them inside our instrument, which is a scanning electron microscope with an energy dispersive X-ray detector. It's also known as an SEM. Once I placed them inside the chamber, I then went through our procedure to analyze the surface of each of these stubs, as well as a blank that was also included. The blank is something I add to the analysis. It's a blank stub to make sure that there's, through the process, that there's no contamination from one stub to another or from any external source.
Right. The instrument that is used is based on a valid scientific theory,
Yes,
and it properly applies that valid scientific theory.
yes,
And you're properly trained on the operation of that instrument to apply that scientific theory.
yes, I am.
All right, now that you talked about, you take the stub and you run it through the instrument, you then put a blank before and after each one to make sure there's no contamination.
That's correct. I run the blank sample with these stubs. I run a control sample that I know has known GSR particles or a known particle that contains the elements I'm looking for before these samples are run. and I
Question.
present to make sure the instrument is working properly.
It also ensures that there's no contamination either from one
think
stub to the next or from any previous.
Two
stub.
students,
Correct.
I
That's the purpose
believe.
for that blank sample.
And the known sample lets you know the instrument's working correctly.
Correct.
Okay, so what are you looking for?
For gunshot residue, I'm looking for what we call particles, and these particles are very tiny. They're in the micron size, meaning you can fit 40 or 80 of them side by side, and they'd be the width of a human hair. So they are not visible to the naked eye. You need a very high-powered microscope to actually see these particles. So during the analysis, it searches for any particles that are present. Now, they may be gunshot residue particles, or they may be something that a person comes into contact normally in their environment. You might find gold,
Yeah.
silver, or platinum from jewelry, or things off of your
One
keys,
had
or
a
depending on
video.
what your occupation is, you might have residue on your hands. And so it searches the surface of each stub and will notate a particle that's present. And then it determines the chemical composition of that individual particle. This analysis will print out a list
Don't
of all these
remember for the
particles. And there may
second
be
one.
100 particles on a stub, or there may be 20,000 particles. It just depends on how dirty and how well that sample was collected from a person's hands or other surface. So I'm looking for particles that contain the elements of antimony, barium, and lead. Those three elements
you,
in
C
that
Sweat.
combination are what's characteristic of gunshot residue. So I like to find these individual particles with those three elements in order to say that those characteristics have been met.
And why is that important? Just those three.
Those are the major components of the ammunition primer. So within an ammunition cartridge, at the base of it, you have a very small chemical mixture known as the primer. Most primer mixtures have those three elements I mentioned, antimony, barium, and lead. So during the firing process, that chemical mixture explodes, which causes gases to build up and the burning of the gunpowder, which forces the bullet down the barrel and toward the target. But within that cloud of smoke you see coming from a gun when it's fired is this residue coming from that chemical explosion. And within that cloud, you have these very tiny particles. And the ones that I'm looking for have those three elements.
Are there other ways to have a combination of those three particular particles outside of primer from a gunshot?
Those three elements on a single particle is not very common in the environment. It has been found on rare occasions on a brake lining on a car in Europe. You may find it anytime a primer is used. Some airbags will use a primer. So sometime if an airbag is deployed, there might be these same type of residue particles coming from that. Some old construction tools like nail guns would use primers. And sometimes if you use a nail gun that used primers, you might get these same type of particles.
But outside of those, it's really going to be limited to primer from shooting a gun.
That's correct.
And looking at the stub for the right hand, and take the stub for the left hand and for the face, were you able to come up with any results?
Yes, I was.
What were those results?
In item 26,
See, so I love the fact that you said, hi, Sarah P. By the way, I should be a little normal. Then you say, hi, Luna, to the biggest weirdo out there. Do you know what I mean? So that's not normal. Luna is a bloody weirdo. So
like I said, there's three steps, one from the
That is
left hand,
normal,
one from the
but-
right hand, and one from the face. And the results were that I did not find any
Bit of a
particles that
bitch,
contained all
but-
three of these elements. I did find numerous particles that had two of the three elements or combinations that we consider
Right.
consistent with gunshot residue. So they could be from gunshot residue or they could be from some other environmental sources. For example, on my item 12.1, which is the stub from the left hand, I confirmed the presence of one lead
why
antimony
would you
particle
say?
and three barium aluminum particles, which is consistent with GSR, and also one barium calcium silicon, which we also find in gunshot residue, but can be from an environmental source. as
I
well.
don't understand what
On the
you're
stub
saying,
from the right
FP.
hand of Mr. Timothy Simpkins, I found one antimony barium aluminum particle, three barium aluminum particles, and one barium calcium silicon. On the stub from the face, there were two lead antimony particles and one barium aluminum particles.
You
So these
definitely
particles
are.
that found on stubs collected from Mr.
Luna.
Simpkins were consistent with GSR, but I can't say absolutely that's where they originated from.
Because you only have 2 out of 3 in the whole 3 together.
That's correct. Either had 2 of the 3 or some other varying combinations.
And you also have some other particles consistent with, but just wasn't carbon negative.
That's correct.
But you had particles on all 3 stubs.
Yes, I had consistent particles on all 3 samples.
That's what,
Cross-examination. Okay. All right, take your testimony.
just me, she'd be excused to go back to the
Is there any reason that she can't be excused? Okay, all right, you're excused. Thank you.
Oh, she's retired. Oh, there we are. She's retired. That's nice. Must be nice.
All right, please call your next witness. Shania McNeely. Okay.
This doesn't know how many students. I think it was 2 students. I wonder how trials this guy's done. I know he's very young. I don't know how many trials he's done though. This might actually be one of his first top 5. Oh, there we are. Evidence. We finally get to see some evidence. Bit late.
Come up here, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give and cause down from the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Now see here. Make sure that microphone fits here. Now I see one thing. Even though you got a microphone, I need you to speak real loud so that the people in the back can hear you. What it does is make sure that you pronounce your words, okay? You're real soft and you talk louder. Try again.
Okay.
No, it's not. Talk louder.
Okay.
There you go. All right, state your words.
Can you tell me your name, please?
Shania McNeely.
Okay, that's good. I can hear you. Keep your voice up, okay?
Pull that microphone closer.
Ms. McNeely, I'm going to ask you some questions about what happened at Timberview High School on October the 6th of 2021, okay?
Okay.
You were a student there at the time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What grade were you in?
Junior, I believe.
A junior?
Yes.
Okay.
Speak
So
up.
you are now are you in college?
I graduated. I started college in August.
And you're going to be studying nursing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What class were you in that morning? Whose class?
Yes, it's all in class.
Mrs. Altman's? Okay, keep your voice up. I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Lawyers kid, do whatever you want in here.
We're
It's
gonna
all
ask you
good.
some questions
Don't worry
what
about it.
happened that morning in class, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did a fight break out that morning in the classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it between 2 boys?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, listen. So maybe you're doing the best you can. You're kind of mumbling. I need you to talk to the back. Don't talk to the microphone. Talk all the way to my deputy back there. Okay. Try again. Say yes, ma'am. Real loud.
Yes, ma'am.
That's better. Thank you. Go ahead.
What are the names of the 2 students that were in a fight?
Zach and Timothy.
And do you recognize Timothy in the courtroom here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me where he's sitting?
On the back of me.
Is he at the very end of these 2 tables?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what happened in the classroom that you saw.
So I'm in the front of the classroom and I heard a knock on the door and the teacher went to go open the door and it was Zach. And then when she opened the door, they were talking for a little minute. Then Zach burst in and the fight just started.
All right. So you heard some talking between Zach and him?
No, the teacher and Zach.
Okay,
Plus he came in late.
okay. And then the fight started, is that what you said?
He burst in and then the fight just started.
And then what did you see during the fight?
A fight. A lot of punching, throwing, stuff like that.
Were people taking their phones out to videotape?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you videotaping?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something that students do when there's a fight?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, did you stop videotaping?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
It just got too hectic. Like I was scared, so I exited the classroom.
Did you ever see a weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
Who had the weapon?
Timothy.
Okay, tell me about that.
So at this point, I'm out the classroom, and then the fight stopped, and then Timothy pulled out the gun, and then I just ran. I don't know what happened after that. I just ran.
Where did you see him, or did you see him get the gun?
Yes, ma'am.
From where?
Right here,
When you say right here, where's that?
like under his pants. Not under his pants, but like like
Waist?
yeah, he pulled it out from right there.
And is that when you started running?
Yes, ma'am.
Did other students start running?
I don't know, I was only worried about myself.
Okay. When you said running, were you going pretty fast?
I hope not fast enough, but
Okay. Do you remember what you were wearing that day?
yes, ma'am, I had on a black shirt, it said Outer Banks, and I had on some biker shorts with some black Crocs.
Black Crocs. All right. Was your hair long or short?
It was long.
So when you ran out of the classroom, do you remember where you went?
Yes, ma'am, I went to the right of me, it's a glass window, and then it's a staircase, and I went down the staircase to go to the classroom down from the first floor.
When you got to the end of that hallway, did you feel anything?
Yes, ma'am. So when I was running, I felt a quick shot. It was really fast. It was just a really fast burn. And then that's when I stopped. But a teacher kept telling me, like, we gotta go, we have to go. So but in that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't check until I got to
Slow down just a bit. Okay, so you didn't know until you got to what?
the classroom.
Okay, talk real loud.
The classroom.
You said you felt a sharp pain,
In that moment, yes.
and a teacher said, let's keep going to you?
Yes, he was trying to get me out of the hallway.
Did you find out later why you had a sharp pain?
I assumed that I didn't know what it was in the moment.
But later, did you find out what it was?
Yes, ma'am.
What was it?
I was grazed by the bullet
Where were you grazed?
on my side, my left side of my stomach.
Of your stomach? Okay. Were you still able to keep walking or running?
I didn't run, but I was able to get to the classroom. Yes, ma'am.
Did you go downstairs?
Yes, ma'am.
And eventually, did you have to go to the doctor to get treated for that gunshot wound
Yes, ma'am. That same thing.
the same day? Did you go to Arlington Memorial Hospital or where?
I'm not sure.
How did you get a hold of a parent or somebody?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that?
My mom.
Okay. When did you get a hold of your mom?
After like 5 minutes, it happened. She was at work, so I kept trying to reach her. But after a while, I got a hold of her.
Okay. Was your mom allowed to come to the school to come and get you, or what happened?
So when I left the school, I left on the ambulance, but my mom was there.
At the school?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she ride with you in the ambulance?
No, ma'am.
Did she have to follow the ambulance?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, after this happened, did you go back to that school?
No, ma'am.
Did you have to switch schools?
I wanted to switch schools.
As a witness.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Shania. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So on cross-examination, you mentioned that Zach just burst in his office classroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when that happened, did you see Tim fight back?
I wasn't paying attention, but I know after a while with the fight, I seen him. He didn't fight back. He was just laying on because he was on the floor. But that's the only time I didn't see him fight back.
Did you see Zach stomp Tim?
On the floor, yes.
And why did you decide to stop recording the fight?
It was too scary. Got too serious.
Was the classroom loud during the fight?
Very.
Did any teachers come in to help break up the fight?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember who those people were?
No, ma'am.
Did you see a teacher push Zach?
No, ma'am.
How did the fight end?
I'm not sure.
And when you mentioned that it was just too hectic and scary, why were you so scared in classroom?
Because most fights, it gets broken up fast. But that one, it was just someone on the floor stomping too much. Like, the fight wasn't in one setting. It was all around the classroom. So.
Nope. No, I haven't, Farrell.
Okay, and so
Yes, I
when you were able
did.
to run out of the classroom, you
I
feel
did trim my
a fast
beard,
burn or a
Farrell,
fast
as
pain?
he swept.
Okay.
Good eyes.
And how long
Hi,
did it take you to
Kim.
find out what happened to you?
When I went to the classroom that the teacher was trying to get into,
And at what moment did you decide to run out of the classroom?
when I seen the gun.
I'm awake. I am awake, Sarah.
The best class witness.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Happy days, Farrell. You tweet away.
Yes, Your Honor.
Maybe
Tweet away.
Your Honor, they should finally be excused.
Just thought it might be twitchy.
Please my next one.
David, call the next week.
Hold on a second.
You just short voice first.
Okay, there you go. All right, the next one.
It is important. I keep a fairly. It was going a bit wild, so I trimmed it. I'm just looking now. Thanks, Farrell. I'll just look now.
Please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give and cause down trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir, I do. Oh, can I have a seat here? Please make sure that the
I
microphone.
you get on
is muted.
bonfire as well.
Try to speak slowly and loudly so everybody understands.
Yes, sir.
And, sure.
Can you introduce yourself to the jury, tell them how you're employed?
Yes, sir. My name is Sean Wheatley, and I'm a detective in our violent crime unit with Arlington Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
A little over 31 years.
All in Arlington?
Yes, sir.
You're the primary detective on this case.
Nice.
On October 6th,
Nice,
2021,
Sparrow.
Did you have occasion to go to the high school where the shooting occurred?
I was assigned a case.
Hide and go
to the
sleep.
hospital, but it was reference to a shooting that happened at the hospital.
And ultimately, did you ever go to the high school?
Yes, I did.
You ever go down that
I need to
hallway
look
when
at
the shooting happened?
bonfire. I'm
Yes, I
closing down my store,
Was
so
there what the evidence,
I might do something on
No,
bonfire.
no.
You've seen the photographs collected by the FBI.
Yes,
You've seen the evidence collected by the FBI.
yes,
You had occasion to interview multiple witnesses.
yes,
You had occasion to listen to those witnesses describe where they were when the shooting happened, where they were. as they were
Yeah,
in the
she was
classroom.
like a kid.
yes,
You've seen still photos from school video, is that correct?
yes,
You compared that video to
Hmm.
the statements you received from the witnesses and they correspond to each other.
yes,
For example, Coach Boyd says, I come down the hallway in the classroom, you see Coach Boyd come down the hallway and go to the classroom.
yes.
Coach Boyd says, hey, I took off running.
There's no objection leading.
I'm taking late break, Judge.
Yeah, that's sustained. Try not to leave.
You were able to compare testimonies and statements to this video, is that correct?
Yes,
And in your opinion, was that video capable of making an accurate report?
yes,
The things that you were told match what you see on the video,
yes,
and matches the evidence that was collected.
yes.
There's no question with this.
You may.
I'll show you what we've marked as stage 42 flash drive. On that flash drive is the video we've been describing.
Yes, sir.
And it's a fair and accurate copy of that video, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
We're offering stage 42.
It's no objection. All right, stage 42 is admitted. What's that? What file? Is it just one file on there? A couple files? Is it?
It's a viewer with a video file. So you have to have a viewer to see the file.
All right,
Permission to publish?
you may.
Just name it, go ahead. I can go. All right, can you tell us what we're looking at here?
That's going to be the hallway where the classroom development is at and the hallway where the shooting took place at.
And for the jury's benefit, they have seen stills from this video. The classroom is literally right here in this corner.
Yes, sir.
And the stairwell, there's one stairwell where I'm pointing right here.
Yes,
Is there another stairwell further down?
yes,
And there's testimony that this is kind of like an H with two crossbars. There's another hallway going further down this way. Is that correct?
yes,
You just can't see it in this video.
that's correct.
Do you recall who this person is I'm pointing at here?
Yes,
Who is that?
I believe that is Charlie.
Last name was Johnson?
Yes,
She was a student there at the time.
yes,
Charlie Skyven or something?
All right, I'm stopping it at 9:12 a.m. Who do we see just walk through?
that is Zacchaeus Selby.
Sea Swept, that is a judge we normally watch when there's no trials. She's amazing. You have to come on and watch it one day. But she's got all the purses, handbags. She's a classy judge. What's going on here? Jesus, that's where he shot him.
Detective, what did we just see?
You just observed several people in the classroom after shots were.
I'll back this up just a little bit and ask you a couple of questions, okay? All right. We've already seen the still from this video, but this all is coming out.
Yes.
This is going to Miss McNeil.
Yes.
This is Coach Boyd.
Yes.
Now, there was a glass case right there, correct?
Yes.
Charlie Johnson's running this way, and it appears there's 3 other students who are running that way as well.
Yes.
That's at the very bottom corner here. We see Zach coming out.
Yes.
This girl, I'm pointing at near that glass case, she makes a right-hand turn.
Yes.
The other girl's a little further to the left, and Charlie Johnson's still right down the hallway.
Yes.
And Zach is just falling down on the ground.
Yes.
Coach Boyd's almost completely caught up with Miss McNeil.
Yes.
If we look at that glass case, you see where that dot just appeared?
Yes.
This girl just turned to her right.
Yes.
This glass case was just shattered.
Yes.
That girl turns left, and that's her right.
They're supposed to object to reading.
I can rephrase.
Please.
Do you have an opinion as to what happens to that girl if she turns to her left and not to her right?
I don't object to speculation.
So,
Yes, I do. I believe that she would have been in danger of being shot also.
Right here, does it appear that Zach is trying to stand up?
Yes.
The very bottom corner here, does it appear that you see the barrel of the gun?
Yes.
Do you see anything coming out of the barrel of that gun?
See a flash coming out of the barrel.
What is
Yeah,
that?
you see the flash.
That bullet has been fired.
Now, the defendant, does it appear that he's pointing the gun?
Yes, it does.
Zach's attempting to stand up, but he's stumbling.
Yes.
Very far background here. Miss McNeely and Coach Boyd.
Yes.
What do you see on the ceiling right here?
That's going to be smoke.
From what?
That's going to be from the discharge of the gun, the bullet.
Take it for 30, police officer for 32 years, you had occasion fire guns inside.
Yes.
When you fire a gun inside a closed area, the smoke from firing that gun tends to accumulate.
Yes, it does.
The more times you fire a gun, the more smoke tends to accumulate.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, the position that Zach is in right here, would you call that an aggressive position?
No, we're not.
Any position that we see him as he exits that door, would you call that an aggressive position?
No.
This defendant is fucked.
Do you see more smoke begin to accumulate the ceiling of this hallway?
Yes, I do.
What would that indicate to you?
That more rounds have been fired.
Where's Zach at now?
He is at the entrance to that first stairwell.
Standing up,
He's laying down on the floor.
face down or on his back?
He appears to be on his back.
Head up,
Yes.
doing what?
Appears like he's trying to get away.
Look at the person who's shooting him.
Yes.
Does it appear that he's crawling?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
What does it appear the defendant's doing?
At that point, he appears to still be pointing the gun at Zach.
Kind of a classical shooting position, feet wide apart, raise the gun up right in the middle, take aim, pull trigger.
Yes.
But would it not be a case of that
Here,
he will
you
say,
see that, what, you see marks or color?
Yeah, it appears to be red blood.
okay, he was shot. Okay, I didn't know he was shot.
What does the defendant do?
The defendant turns around, he places the gun back into his waistband, and then he starts walking down that hallway.
Actually steps out to shoot, we can shoot behind too.
Yes, he does.
Just hands for a moment.
Yeah, he's buggered. He's definitely getting one attempted murder charge.
I think at the beginning of your testimony, you said that you first went to the hospital, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have any occasions to go see Zach when he was in the hospital?
Yes, I did.
And did he have gunshot wounds to his chest, arms, and legs?
Yes.
Do you know if he had that surgery?
Yes, he did.
And do you know if Calvin Head was there?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Did you
Yes, he did.
know that?
He had a grazed wound to his left arm and then a wound towards his back.
In your opinion, did it appear to you that Zach was in serious condition?
Yes.
You did take a police officer 32 years, you've seen people shot. Based on your experience and training, did it appear to be critical?
Yes.
What about Mr. Pettit?
I believe Mr. Pettit was also critical.
And Ms. McNeely, you know she was injured.
Yes, she was.
And how was she injured?
I agree,
She had a
Lefty.
grazed wound from one of the bullets.
You know where on her body that razor was?
I believe it was along her left hip.
Her left hip?
Yes.
Well, he's up for 3 attempted murders.
This shooting occurred, that's in Tarrant County, Texas.
Yes.
That was on October 6th, 2021.
Yes.
He's 100% guilty for one. It's whether they find him guilty for the other 2.
So you're the lead detective, with Kyle, everything, for this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also had Detective Hall, Van Treck, King, Schaefer, and Simmons, correct?
Yes.
And each detective has.
Da 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 da.
Yes.
So.
Da da da
Violent
da.
crime unit?
Yes.
Okay. And you've been in that unit for how long?
It was originally called the robbery unit and eventually became the violent crimes unit. I've been up there since 2010.
And so you handle violent objects?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You had a chance to review the fight that occurred in room 2026, did you?
Yes.
Would you consider that a violent fight?
I believe it
Yeah.
was a violent fight.
You initiated.
2 of them have.
Mr. Silver.
Lawyers kid, 2 have. There's one more to come, I think. Zach's to come. The teacher and the girl who got grazed, they both testified already. I don't believe Zach has testified yet. And Zach's the guy that started the fight and stuff. And he's the one that ended up in
I'm gonna show you
hospital.
what's been marked as defensive exhibit number 3 next, if you recognize that.
Yes.
And we've seen this compilation. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of the person that was standing outside of the room with Zakiya Shelby on or about October 6th?
Oh, good. That's what we're here for,
Yes.
lawyers kid. To share knowledge, impart knowledge on us.
No objection.
Defense exhibit 3?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is it number 3? All right, that is it.
Did it appear from watching that and talking to Charlie that, did he tell you that Zach came to school agitated that one?
Objection, you're second.
Who told me?
You interviewed Charlie, correct?
Yes, Farrell.
Did, when Zach initially walked into.
No, we're behind.
Walked into the school, Zach appeared to be pacing down the hall, correct?
Yes.
He didn't immediately enter into Ms. Hopkins' class, did he?
No.
And then at some point, Zach gave Charlie his phone.
I'm not sure if he gave him his phone or not.
From looking on, you can see her with the phone,
You
right?
can't see her with the phone.
And at some point, it appears she's laughing,
Yes.
as if she was anticipating something to happen.
Yes.
So when Zach comes in, he puts his backpack outside the classroom, does not?
Yes.
And at some point, he has to come back in and get his backpack.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And shortly thereafter, so Zach, Tim was in the classroom at 8:59. You did a timeline, did you not?
Yes.
Do you have the timeline with you?
Yeah. I can find it real quick. Yes.
So Tim was in the classroom at 8:59:32, correct?
Yes.
And Zach comes in he's in the hallway with Charlie at 9:11 and 27 seconds.
Yes.
Correct? And then he's in the hallway by himself at 9:12:09 in the hallway, correct?
Yes.
He enters the room at 9:14.
Yes, ma'am.
And you hear a shot at 9:15 and 4 seconds.
Yes.
So Zach immediately went to Tim, correct?
I believe he did.
Well, how many times would you say you watched that video?
The school video or the
Classroom video?
classroom video was taken. I watched it several times. I'm not sure how many I watched.
Did you watch it just before coming here today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So the teacher got shot in the back, or either coming through the chest, and a graze, and the girl got a graze. Whether that is attempted murder or not, I don't know. But
Yeah, go, sir.
Zach definitely attempted murder. I'm not sure what the sentencing is for this, but he's up for 8 things. I think he's gonna be done for, like, probably 4 or 5 definite. The girl got grazed, yes. Yeah, that's but she's up for 3 attempted murders, 3 something else, I don't remember what it was, and I don't remember that's what I mean. So the guy, Zach, is 100% attempted murder. The teacher, I missed a lot of that testimony, so I don't know. And then the girl, that was a girl that was outside where he shot and went into the glass case. Had she gone left, he would have caught her, but she turned right, so grazed her. I'm not sure if there's a bit more than a graze, but that's what they call it. It was a graze. They might say that they were trying to he was trying to shoot her, but I don't think he was. So here's the fight. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I will play this normal speed. Bear with me. I will play a normal speed. Just so everyone can see it. I have to go out and back in. So this is a fight that Zach started against the defendant, Timothy. So we've seen outside the room and now seen inside the room.
Prior video from the classroom that was admitted yesterday.
Okay.
I think so anyway. Just another angle.
So you see the violent nature of Zach going in charging him, correct?
Yes.
Do you see Tim at any point attempt to defend himself?
No, not from that video.
You said you've been, are you aware of, that his head was hit on the side of the desk?
No.
But you saw him thrown into a chalkboard, correct?
Yes.
Did you pay particular attention to the words that Zach was saying in the classroom?
Yes.
Do you call and listen very, because I know you've heard it. What does on blood mean?
Typically, that's kind of like a gang reference.
So on blood means it relates to what gang?
To the Blood Street gang.
And that's basically a term that's saying I pledge my allegiance on blood, correct?
That I'm not sure about.
But on blood, nigga, on blood is what he said, correct?
That's what it sounded like, yes.
At any time during your investigation, did you get with Mansfield, rephrase? From your training and experience in the violent crime unit, you're aware that Tim got his head stomped.
Yes. Yes.
Is that action by someone capable of causing death or serious bodily injury?
In this circumstance, I don't think that's the case.
Is it possible?
Is it possible? Yes, ma'am.
Did Ms. Herrera and Coach Ward tell you they feared the Tim life?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustain.
interviewed several teachers.
Yes, ma'am.
You interviewed several students.
Yes, ma'am.
Without saying what they said, some concerns were raised.
Objection. Entire statement and answer requires them to basically on hearsay. Ms. Bay,
Withdraw the question.
Okay.
When they go, are they trying to get like he's protecting himself because it's gang related or something? You know.
From viewing the tape of the video, the fight, would you agree that the fight looked one-sided?
Yes, it appeared that way.
And it appeared that at one point, Tim was in a fetal position.
Yes.
Is that a position of surrender?
Yes.
And in that position of surrender, he's still getting hit about the head and stomped by
Yes.
Zacchaeus Shield.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything particular that you notice about the clothing that was worn? Did you have occasion to look at the photo to see that Tim had some bruising about his head?
Yes.
If you know, was he provided any medical attention once he turned himself in?
That I don't know.
You were notified that he was turning himself in, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall who notified you?
I believe it was one of my sergeants that called me about it.
And do you recall what
Yeah.
time
Thanks, Farrell.
he turned himself in?
Thank you,
No,
Farrell.
ma'am.
That's it.
It's like 1:30-ish sound familiar.
Yeah, it's within probably 3 hours or so of the offense occurring. That sounds about right.
So this happens at 9, 3 hours later, he's turning himself in.
Yes.
Within those few seconds of Zach entering into the classroom and violently beating Tim, we don't know what effect getting stomped in the head had on his brain or anything.
No, I don't know anything about that, man.
Oh, okay. So we know where she's going with it.
Within the video that we are seeing, the fight video that we're seeing right now, who provided that to you?
That was, I believe, that was forwarded by one of my sergeants.
But that particular morning when this went down, kids were, it's like airdrop. This went like viral. And what does it mean when you say airdrop?
Well, it means that it was sent out to many, many recipients who were able to view the video.
So there could have been a longer extended, did you ask for a longer extended video from people that had maybe?
Yeah, we looked for longer extended videos, but all the videos we received were that exact length.
Okay.
And just for clarification, when we say, like I said, you heard the words on blood, right?
objection, Judge. Ask and answer.
Finish your question.
Did you notate any of that in your police report?
No, I did not.
Is there a particular reason why?
At a time like this, I don't believe there's anything conclusive about like his.
Hindsight, 2020, right?
Objection. Ask and answer. They,
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. She abandoned the question. State redirect.
yes, sir, if I may. When the defendant left, where did he put his gun?
In his waistband.
Defense counsel asked you a question about the fetal position the defendant was in, that you saw in the video. What was he doing?
I believe he's trying to maintain control of the gun that was in his waistband.
And he's holding on to like a stomach area.
Yes.
Where he put the gun when he left. All right.
Yes.
Defense counsel asked you what effect being hit or stomped would have on this defendant's brain. Recall that question?
Yes.
He brought this gun to school long before he ever got hit in the head.
Yes.
Pass this witness.
All right. Meaning redirect. I mean recross. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am.
It's true, he did bring the gun in, so no matter what state he was in, he brought the gun in. Shouldn't have done it.
All right. May this witness be excused?
Yes, we say.
All right. You may be excused. Thank you for your testimony.
Okay, what are they doing now? Are they going for a break now? I'm not sure. It seems they are going for a break.
Members from each side. I'm here just for scheduling.
Uh-oh. It's a fairly long break. Oh, here we go. Oh, I need to get off this again. Why does it do this, StreamYard? Why are you doing this for me? Right, I'm just gonna go to where we're supposed to go. No, I don't need to get off. I gotta get a video off because it's a nightmare. Right, which number is that? 126. All right, I can get it back. Yes, Lefty, someone give me hands. Right, here we go. Share screen. For whatever reason, it's playing up. StreamYard is. I don't know what's wrong with it. If I try and forward it on screen, it doesn't work. So I have to take it off all the time. C Swift, thanks for giving me a hand, C Swift. Thank you. Right, let's play this bad boy. It's roughly starting from here, so I say that. Fuck me. No, but do right, I found the right place. I know, I'm not, my OnlyFans, I've uploaded 2 videos today already, I'm not doing a third. That'll be done, tomorrow. I'll film it tonight, upload it tomorrow. Right, here we go. Got it. Yes, got it. I can't. When you got a small dick, it's hard to get all that out, like, all the white gravy out. Probably squeeze 3, but that's the max. Mm, mm, mhm. Who's that seat for me or lefty? Da 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 da. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da. He's 19 now. Dun, dun. So he would have been 17 at the time. Mansfield View, high school shooting, Timothy Simpkins trial. Oh, me. Oh, all right. We should have drugged them, Farrell. Bye, Farrell. Oh, bye, lefty. Sorry. I thought, yeah, sorry. I only saw a bit. I was on the phone. See you, lefty. I don't want to skip forward now because, geez, the defender's laughing. I wouldn't be laughing, mate. No, I confused everyone, Farrell. I thought you were leaving because Lefty said bye. I didn't see his message.
Yeah. You probably need to do that. Thank you.
Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, happy day. When Jesus was, when Jesus was, when Jesus was. Oh, happy days. Oh, happy days. There is C Swept singing for you, you see. I always sing for C Swept. Come on. I don't skip it because I then have to get off the screen again. Sanitizing. Look at him sanitizing. I thought that was out now. I never see sanitizer anymore. Yay, Ferrell. He's 19. He was 17 at the time. It's happening 2021. So yeah, 19 now, but he was, I believe, 17 at the time. Basically chucked his life or most of his life away. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Oh, well, fine. He would have just turned 8. Basically, he was a senior in the school, so he was like 17, 18. If he was 18, he just turned 18, I believe. It was 2001, so it's 2 years ago. So he does look older. You're right. Ma- ba- ba-dum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, bum. Ba-da-ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum,
Back on the record,
bum,
one
bum, bum, bum,
seven seven
bum.
3950, state of Texas versus Timothy Simpkins, the state having rested, does the defense wish to be heard outside the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to make its motion for a directed verdict. The state has failed to prove each and every element of the offense of attempted capital murder beyond a reasonable doubt. Specifically, the state.
I love this. There is absolutely no chance that a judge is gonna agree with the defense here. A 0, 0. So did Zach not testify then? Did we miss that or something? I'm not sure. All I can tell you is not much left of this today. So
Has failed to prove that Mr.
wrong,
Simpkins had the
wrong.
specific intent to cause the death, and that is, in order for it to be a capital murder, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the result, and not just
0.
conduct that could lead to result. They have to prove that he had the specific intent to, for the result itself to occur, and they have failed to do that. I would also, excuse me, I'm still catching my breath. Point your attention to paragraph 2 of the indictment.
Nice try and everything, but
Where the state, and if you will,
don't waste your breath.
follow along with me in the statute of 1903 and 1902.
And push the figure. Yeah, he's got no chance.
I'm gonna start with 1903A, which is the first.
So
essential
prosecution have
element for
rested.
capital murder, is
We
that a
must have
person
missed something.
commits and
That
often
did
the
not
person commits
testify.
murder as defined under 1902B1, which 1902B1 specifically defines the murder to be intentionally, which or knowingly cause the death of an individual. So they have to allege that he had the specific intent to cause the result. What they have alleged here is that he's had an intent to commit an act that could cause the result, which is under 1902B2. But capital murder requires that to be proved under 1902B1. And so if paragraph 2 is not, if the court does not have a charge to which they can give to the jury as it pertains to paragraph 2, because the state has failed to actually allege an attempted capital in paragraph 2. And courts of appeals, let me bring this up so I can see. Gray v. State 152, Southwest 3D 125. Our legislature
152 Southwest.
3D 125.
Okay.
Our legislature has made clear that a trial judge's charge to the jury must set forth the law applicable to the case, which paragraph 2 does not set forth the law that would be applicable to an attempted capital murder. It further says it is not enough for the charge to merely incorporate the allegation in the charging instrument. Instead, it must also apply the law to the facts adduced at trial. This is because the jury must be instructed under what circumstance they should convict or under what circumstance they should acquit. Jury charges which fail to apply the law to the facts adduced at trial are erroneous. And so without the state having actually alleged an attempted capital murder in paragraph 2, because they have not alleged a specific intent to commit the result and not an intent to commit an act that could lead to the result. There's a difference there. And I believe the law is clear because they specifically spell out 1902B1, which is different from 1902B2. So we would ask the court to direct its verdict as it pertains to this case and specifically as it pertains to paragraph 2.
And with regards to paragraph 2, are you saying that it's insufficient in its charge because it should read attempt to intentionally cause the death of more than one person?
It should read intentionally attempt to cause the death of a person, whoever that person is, and you'll go on over to number 7, the person then murders more than one person. Now that part could be under B2, which they've put in here, during the same criminal transaction, but it's a 2-part. It's 1903A, they're attempting to allege A and 7, A7. But they have failed to do so by not alleging A.
I'm going to hear from the state on the argument concerning paragraph 2.
Judge, in reference to the argument on paragraph 2, this particular prose has already been held to be sufficient for purposes of capital murder and killing more than one person numerous times. To address her particular argument, it's not alleged he committed that clear dangerous to human life with intent to cause serious bodily injury. It clearly alleges attempt to cause the death by intentionally shooting somebody. That's an intentional act. The language is there. Her disagreement may be grammar, but this has been held to be sufficient. This alleges an intentional act. It requires an intentional act with intent to cause the death. Now, the difference is it's an attempted crime, so we have to have that language in there for attempt. It's not a completed crime.
I hear you. All right. In your argument, Ms. Clayton, with regards to paragraph 1, is that it hasn't been proven all the elements beyond reasonable doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you have an element to which you believe they are missing?
I would say specifically to the element of intentionally let me read it correctly. To any person with the intent to place the public or a substantial group of the public in fear, and that they haven't proved beyond a reasonable doubt that it was Mr. Simpkins' intent to do so.
The court will overrule both motions in the case. Is there anything further we wish to urge outside the presence of the jury?
No, Your Honor.
Surprise, surprise.
Both sides ready for the, well, let me see, are y'all gonna open?
No, Your Honor, defense waives opening.
Okay.
We'll get into testimony.
Okay, y'all plan to open a case?
Yes,
Okay, are y'all ready for the jury?
yes.
Judge, we obviously don't know who we're gonna call.
Right.
But there's a motion limiting factors to any extraneous act on the part of the witness that you just admonished. And I don't know what their intentions are, but based on previous conversations or previous motions in front of you, if they intend to get into it, you assume we hear it now as a, versus us having to stand and object in front of the jury.
I understand. It would be my preference at this point that if your intention is to go into subjects we discussed with regards to the state's motion in limine, and that are listed as extraneous offenses in, oh, I'm sorry, with regards to the state's motion in limine, that we hear it outside the presence of the jury before we bring them in. If that's not where y'all are going, then let's get started.
Yes, I did actually meant to mention that some of the witnesses that we have brought here today, we do anticipate that their testimony would be about the, giving an opinion of the reputation of Zacchaeus Selby.
Okay.
And that reputation being violent and aggressive, which case law has stated that we can get into those type of reputation and character trait, pertinent character traits when there's evidence shown, which it has been shown, that this particular Zacchaeus Selby was an initial aggressor.
Okay, and just with regards to that, the case law that I've been reading and the information on it seems to indicate that, are you talking about this being like a communicated character attack where the defendant knew about this reputation, or that this goes to the act of the first aggression by the victim? Which one, or both?
We are using it to go towards the act of first aggression by the victim, as well as to establish the reasonableness of the fear from Mr. Simpkins. And the case that we quoted the last time says that he need not know the specific acts himself, but that they.
Right, if you're using it to show the reasonableness of the defendant's fear, then you would need to prove that that item was something he knew. With regards to it going towards the victim's character for violence in that he was the first aggressor, I understand that. Those case laws seem to speak a little bit to the idea that there is some ambiguity in a defendant's actions, and so therefore that can be used to show what the victim's intent was, that he meant to be the first aggressor. Where do you think that it would show Mr. Selby's reputation for violence would go to show, what do you think it would clarify in the defendant's actions in this case? I mean, in the victim's actions in this case, Mr. Selby's, excuse me.
To be quite frank, I mean, I think the testimony is just uncontroverted that he was the first aggressor. And so for us, we would tend to use it more so for the reasonableness of his fear.
Okay. Is that your first witness? This is will also include this idea.
No, the first witness was will be Charlie Johnson.
Okay, Charlie Johnson. And then when would we get to those witnesses?
Right after her.
Right after her. Do y'all want to take that now, or hear Charlie and then take that up?
Can you give me 1 second?
Sure. We should have had Charlie so we get him.
Charlie.
One of our witnesses is unavailable after today, that one of the ones that we would need to hear outside the present, so we would go ahead and try to get through that.
Get them on the stand first.
Yes.
Okay. And who would that be?
Stephanie Beatrice.
Okay, Stephanie Beatrice.
She's
Yeah. And then what I'd like to do is vet out your issues outside the presence so we can get a good ruling. Yeah, perfect.
Step up here, raise your right hand. Judge, this way.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the cause on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Have a seat here.
Okay.
Make sure that microphone fits you appropriately. I'll ask that you just make sure you listen to the entirety of an attorney's question before answering, so you don't talk over them, okay? Take the answer out loud.
Yes.
Okay. And then answer loudly like you just did so that everybody in the back can hear you, okay?
Yes.
I'll ask that you establish who the witness is and then proceed to the objected to portion.
Okay,
Is that fair?
just for me to put on the record who this is, or just answer the question?
Yeah, let her introduce herself, lay the predicate for who she is, how she might know the information we want, but she doesn't, and then the portion that you'd like to admit that you know the state is objecting to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Stephanie Viteri.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm an assistant principal at James Cuddy Middle School.
Okay, and how long have you been an assistant principal?
At James Cuddy Middle School, or
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
10 years.
Okay, and so were you the assistant principal for one named Zacchaeus Selby?
Yes.
And do you recall that particular student being one up under your authority?
Yes.
Do you know Zacchaeus, or let me repeat that. Had you come to know Zacchaeus well enough to form an opinion about his reputation?
Yes.
And what would that opinion be?
Based on my recollection and the referrals that I've received from his teachers, it was about fighting, profanity, and altercations
Okay.
within the classroom.
Okay. And what grades would he have been in when you were his assistant principal?
7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, that's the extent.
Okay, and that's the proposed testimony you wish to elicit concerning that issue. All right, state any objections to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are your objections?
Do you want them to stay in here, or do you want me to?
Do you have some reasons that you should? Okay.
Well, one object is impermissible under 404 and 403. First of all, we'll just start off at the time. This is her opinions when he was in 7th and 8th grade, which I will presume is ages 13 to 14, maybe 12 to 13. So some 2 or 3 years before this crime occurred.
Okay.
So I don't know how you get past relevance. And then, Judge, in looking at the very case this defendant cited to you, Torres v. State, there must be some specific act that is probative of the, they say deceased, I'm gonna say the victim's state of mind or intent. The witness must know, the defendant did not know about the act. They got to point to some specific act that they're trying to explain. And as the court has heard the testimony, I certainly agree with the defense counsel, it's unequivocal, the fight had ended, has stopped. Without question, even on cross-examination, the witnesses said that Selby raised his hands up and said, "I'm done." And it's only after that point that this defendant drew his gun and began shooting. And Judge, I'd also point this out to the court. Additional case law for you. This defendant is not entitled to self-defense. Looking at the case law I handed to you, Wilcox v. State, which, while it's an unpublished opinion from February of this year, it cites numerous published opinions. It clearly states that when the defendant becomes the aggressor and continues to shoot, he's no longer acting in self-defense. He's the aggressor. And so at some point, he's not acting in self-defense. He has no right to continue shooting. So if that's true, he has no right to self-defense, then this evidence is not admissible. And that's consistent with case law in Torres v. State.
Can I clarify something really fast that the state's attorney has just stated incorrectly, that the defense agrees that it's uncontroverted that the fight ended and stopped. That was not my statement. That's not the defense's position.
I understand. All right, this time, we find that this will be admissible evidence. I believe that it would be for a use other than conformity under 404B, that it is more probative than prejudicial, or substantially more probative than prejudicial under 403, and that although the 7th and 8th grade issue does detract from the relevance, I believe that's something that could be addressed and handled via weight and from cross-examination than from admissibility. So as far as that testimony goes, I'll allow it this time.
And Judge, it's certainly based on this ruling and their intended line of questioning of evidence, it is certainly our intent that they've opened the door to all the extraneous acts that we've given notice of, in particular that this defendant was involved in a shooting 1 week prior to this occurred.
Here we go.
All the text messages back and forth between him and his friends where he's saying he's going to shoot first and not involve himself in a fight.
Sure, I understand. And the admissibility of other acts based on, or other things based on what the defense's theory is will be left to when and if the state requests to introduce that testimony. I'll have to make that ruling at that time. This time I got to make this ruling here. So I understand. All right. Anything further about that particular testimony?
No, not from the defense.
Okay. Both sides ready for the jury?
Say true.
Well, you have to join your.
So this could get interesting. Depending on what they elicit, this could get interesting. So he shot someone or tried to shoot some people the week before this.
Do you have anything to address the court before the jury comes in?
Possibly, yes, I'm sorry. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
She does not have to sit there though, because she's also still not going to be the first witness.
She will not be your first witness.
No.
Okay. Then please return to wherever you were waiting. And just remember, you've been, just real quick, you've been sworn in under the rules, so that means you can't attend testimony. Please don't talk to other witnesses or potential witnesses. I don't want them influencing you and you influencing them. Does that make sense?
Yes,
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Let me call your next witness.
Janelle Tanner.
Say that again.
Janelle Tanner.
Okay. And will this evidence be outside the presence of the jury?
Yes, outside the presence, pretty much laying the same type of.
Okay.
And for the court to decide if it's.
Okay.
Okay, here we go again then.
And Judge,
Yes,
one final objection in reference to that last witness.
okay.
The rules of evidence clearly state that a person can
Late.
give their opinion as to your reputation without,
Late.
you cannot give the basis of that unless it's specifically asked. The basis that she gave, the specific instance that she gave was all hearsay. It's nothing based on personal knowledge. She never witnessed it herself. So we will object to her getting into anything specific because she has no personal knowledge of those things. She did not witness those things. If you're going to allow her to give your reputation, I explore the basis of that, I understand. But if I don't, all they can do is simply ask, are you aware of this person's reputation within the community?
I understand the state's requested limitation. I don't.
No,
disagree
just be
with,
quiet as you switched over.
Especially considering her underlying basis is hearsay, right? So she can say that she's a school teacher or a principal, that she is aware of his reputation, and then what that is, going into like what she mentioned about
That's true.
How she came
other
to know
teachers
that.
telling, yes, exactly.
I will instruct her to limit that. That was not my intention to elicit that testimony. We are sticking to the reputation.
I understand, sure, and you can probably get that by structuring your question a certain way as well. All right, I understand, thank you. Bring up Ms. Tan.
Here she comes to save the day.
Ms. Tan, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in the cause now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth,
Truth,
nothing but the truth? So
nothing
help you
but the
God?
truth.
Oh, you can have a seat here.
The male officers all love this girl.
The entirety of any question from either attorney, make sure they're done asking their entire question before you try to answer. And then when you
Huh?
answer, talk all the way to the back, okay? Okay, but you gotta talk
I'll
louder.
say it now.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go. All right, your witness, please.
thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Janelle Tanner.
And what do you do for a living?
I am an assistant principal at Timberview High School.
And
She's
how
got
long
vocals.
have you been employed as an assistant principal at Timberview High School?
I started October of 2019, so I've completed 4 years. I'm starting my 5th year.
Okay. Do you know Zacchaeus Selby?
Yes.
How do you know Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus is, during that time, he was on Timberview's campus. I was his assistant principal because of our alphas are split up. And so he has the end of the alphabet, and that's the group of kids that I served over.
Okay. And do you recall what grades Zacchaeus would have been in when you were his assistant principal?
Starting out as a freshman and then at the beginning of his sophomore year.
Have you been able to form an opinion as to Zacchaeus's reputation?
Based on some of the referrals that were submitted by teachers, yes.
And what would that reputation be?
Based on the infractions that were submitted by teachers, he had infractions of skipping, he had an infraction of fighting, and there was an infraction where he was disrespectful to a teacher.
Sarah P is here as well. She's here somewhere. And I don't know who else is here then after that. Sarah P would say good night if she was leaving.
That's what we spread out with y'all.
Judge, may I ask questions?
Yes, on that topic, yes, you may.
The referral of fighting, was it just this one incident?
Um,
October 6th?
No,
Was there other incidents?
this was another incident.
You see, I knew Sarah P was here. Diligent. She is diligent.
It would just be based on the referrals that were submitted by teachers.
What referrals did this defendant have?
Timothy,
Yes, ma'am.
he's had referrals for
Luna's
skipping,
here.
and then there was one referral for inappropriate behavior.
How about for bringing a gun to school?
If there is, it wasn't processed by me.
What was the inappropriate behavior?
It was a classroom, maybe about his freshman year or sophomore year, I can't recall, where he went to the restroom for a long period of time, and a teacher asked him about why was he in the restroom so long, and I can't recall the statement verbatim about he used the word ass. That's about as much as I can remember about that particular referral. So just using inappropriate comments in class, not towards the teacher, but just.
And she is pretty as well. She is pretty. Who is this? She's
Do you
the
have
vice
personal knowledge of anything in reference to either this defendant or Mr.
principal.
Selby?
I'm not sure.
You didn't witness anything yourself.
I did not witness.
So you're basing your opinion simply on what you have read or someone told you.
Simply what I've read.
You've never actually spoken to anybody about his reputation?
Just based off of the referrals, I would.
So you have an opinion, you don't know what his reputation is.
Again, it's based off of the referrals that I've read.
So is your personal opinion is that he's not a law-abiding student? Or you just want to say that he has some referrals?
My statement is that he has referrals.
Okay, so you don't really know what his reputation is, you've never spoken to anybody. You didn't go to the teacher's lounge and go, man, that Mr. Selby, he's whatever, and they tell you that they agree that his reputation among all the other teachers or students is that's bad.
Yeah.
You don't have anything like that.
If I had questions about referrals, then I would refer to the teacher to get more information, but I don't recall if at any time where a referral that I processed, if I followed up with questions with teachers.
Okay, so not aware of what his reputation is. I'm gonna help you out. There's two things. There's reputation and there's opinion. Okay. People can have a reputation within their community. And they know that reputation because you talk to other people about that reputation. Okay. Have you spoken to anybody about Selby's reputation? Not specific acts, but what his reputation is.
If I had questions about any of the infractions or actions, I would get consult from other assistant principals.
So you said yes. Did you?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, so you can't recall ever speaking to any teachers or assistant principals about his reputation?
About specific situations, I talk to teachers if I had questions about situations.
Do you have an opinion as to what you believe his character trait is for being a peaceful student?
It's based on the referrals that were, if I'm looking at the referrals, he's a skipper. He's been disrespectful to a teacher.
That's it? So do you have an opinion?
And he had a fight.
Do you know anything about the fight? Any details?
Any details about the fight? That I can recall, it happened in the restroom.
You don't know anything else about it?
And the student he had a fight with.
Okay. Do you have an opinion as to his character trait for being peaceful and law-abiding student?
Again, based on the referrals,
You gotta answer that question, yes or no.
repeat the question for me.
Do you have an opinion to Mr. Selby's character trait for being peaceful and law-abiding? If you don't, that's fine. You're shaking your head no.
I don't.
Okay. Well, Judge Object to roll this testimony.
Vince, do you have any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
You do not.
I mean, you just shot yourself in the foot.
Wait, you're calling this one now? All right, Mr. Chairman, you can step back.
Smile at him because
Also, you've been sworn in.
I'll
so
see you later,
don't go anywhere
darling.
yet. Make sure you don't talk to other witnesses about this case and don't let them.
You don't
talk
ask.
around you. I don't want you influenced by them or them influenced by
You
you.
don't ask a boy what he's doing in the bathroom, especially someone that's bit. You know, that's wrong.
At this point, Ms. Tanner's testimony,
It's not going to be
it
admitted.
did not seem like she was testifying as to a refutation of her own opinion so much as she was just regurgitating based on some referrals she had received. So unless that, based on that testimony right there, she would not be able to testify. I don't think she would have the predicate to testify to an opinion or reputation of Mr. Selby. Do you have another witness that we need to discuss this issue with?
No.
Okay, do you know what witness you're gonna call first?
Charlie Johnson.
Okay, let's go ahead and get Charlie up here and then we'll call the jury.
Okay, well, obviously that was just
As you
stupid.
referenced the first witness, I would renew the same objection that they failed to lay the predicate that she actually has an opinion or is aware of the reputation.
I'd like to hear her answers to defense outside the presence of the jury again concerning whether she has an opinion or a reputation.
Which witness?
So the very first one,
Oh, okay.
I think the question of do you have an opinion or do you know the reputation concerning violent character? Be very specific, and then we can see if they have one. Okay, thank you.
The defense
Ms.
are
Johnson,
fucked.
hold on a second. Why don't you stand up real quick and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in the cause now in trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, have a seat here. Let me tell you a couple of things. One, I want you to make sure that you listen entirely to the questions that are asked. Make sure the attorneys are done asking the entire question before you answer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then two, what I need you to do is when you talk, I need you to talk all the way to the back. I know you have a microphone, but unless you talk loud, we can't understand you. Can you tell my bailiff in the back that you understand?
I understand.
Okay. All right. And then, all right. Both sides ready for the jury?
Case ready.
Defense ready.
All right, bring it up.
Let's go. I just can't see what defense is, what they're doing. They just got one witness out. Another one they're going to ask more questions about. There may be trouble ahead. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's dance. Woo! I just don't see what.
Y'all may be seated. Oh, okay, okay.
You're a bit slow there. I was going to say, you're a bit slow there, Steve Swept. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 bum, 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 bum. You should go to sleep, Steve Swept.
All right. Defense, please call your first witness.
Defense calls Charlie Johnson.
And just so that we're in front of the jury, do you wish to make any opening statement?
No, Your Honor, defense will waive opening.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, I'll remind you that you've been sworn to tell the truth in this case, okay? You gotta answer out loud.
Yes.
All right, your witness.
Good afternoon, afternoon, Charlie. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So throughout this process, I need you to keep your voice up, okay?
Okay,
How old are you?
18,
What high school did you go to?
Timberview High School.
Did you graduate from Timberview?
No, ma'am.
What did you do instead?
I got my GED.
Nap away.
Do you
Nap
currently have
away.
a job?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I work as a nanny for my cousin and at Rose's.
What is Rose's, the restaurant?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall the events that happened on October 6th of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what happened that day?
I was going to Coach Boyd's class and I was a little late and I seen Zacchaeus in the hallway and he stopped me and asked me to record a video.
Hey, Dennis. Um, no, they haven't. But the the state have rested, so we're just on the defense now. They're not doing much today. Um, so we'll see at the end today what they say. There's only like maybe what are we on now? 5:21, and it finishes in about 40 minutes. Half an hour, 40 minutes. We'll know. Hopefully, you snore away, Sea Swept. Snore away.
Okay. A video of him
I can't see it lasting more than tomorrow, though.
okay. So
Let me
Personally,
stop you right there, Charlie. So kind of how it works, I understand you're nervous, is that I'll ask you questions, right?
Mhm.
And then you just have to answer just briefly, okay?
Okay,
So you're in the hallway and you're headed to Coach Boyd's class, is that right?
yes, ma'am.
What subject does Coach Boyd teach?
That was my credit recovery class.
And about what time of day is this?
Around 9 o'clock.
Were you the only person in the hallway?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you see Zacchaeus in the hallway?
When I was turning that hallway to go to in the English hall, turning the English hall.
What was his demeanor like in the hallway?
He seemed frustrated. He was pacing back and forth.
So when you went up to him, what happened?
He was just like, "Hey, can you record this video for me?"
What did you say?
I was like, "Okay."
Did you record on his phone or your phone?
Mine.
So after you made the agreement, what happened after that?
I was standing kind of by the men's restroom, and he was standing at the door. He knocked on the door, and that's when the teacher let him in.
Who came out once he knocked on the door?
Miss Altman.
What happened after she opened the door?
His backpack he had set his backpack down at the door, and she had told him to grab his backpack, and he just like looked at her and was like, he just picked the backpack up, and then he set the backpack down on the front two desks.
After he set the backpack down, what happened?
He just walked to the back of the classroom, and that's when the fight started happening.
When you say the fight, what happened with that fight?
Zach was hitting Tim.
Were you recording this when it happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was with you during this time frame?
I was by myself, but there was other students standing at the door.
About how many people were at the door with you?
2.
Did you record the entire fight?
Yes.
What made you stop?
I stopped when Zacchaeus started stomping on his head
Why did you stop recording at that moment?
because it just got too serious.
Was the classroom loud or quiet during this fight?
It was quiet for the most part. You could just hear like the bookshelves and stuff and him getting thrown across the classroom.
Did any of the other teachers come in to stop the fight?
Yes.
Do you recall who those people were?
First, Miss Herrera walked in, and then it was Coach Boyd.
Were Were you still recording at this point?
I stopped whenever Miss Herrera came.
What did you do after Miss Herrera came?
I just was standing at the door, and that's whenever Zacchaeus was stomping on his head.
When did you decide to leave Miss Altman's doorway?
When I heard the gunshots, I started running a little.
Did you hear anything prior to the actual gunshots?
No, I heard Coach Boyd yell that there was a gun, but I didn't really register it in my head.
And while you were running, this sounds like a silly question, but were you shot while you were running?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What happened while you were running?
I felt the bullet go past me, and then that's when the trophy case broke, and then
That's
that's
true,
when I
Dennis.
turned
True.
the hallway.
And when you
That's
turned in the
very true.
hallway, what did you do next?
I went downstairs, and I went to the officer's room.
Did you call anyone after this happened?
My mom.
Did you talk to the police after this happened?
Yes, I talked to one officer.
And when you talked to the police, did you tell them that you recorded the fight?
I don't think so.
Did they ask you?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone else asked you about your recording of the fight?
No, ma'am.
And you came to court today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you bring a copy of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you just now bringing a copy of this?
Because I just found it.
Okay, so how is that? Explain how you just found it.
Because it was on my other phone, because I got a new phone. It was on my other one, so my other phone was broken, so I didn't think it was gonna work. But when I found it, it happened to turn on.
May I approach you on?
Right.
So what? They got new evidence. This is madness. I wonder if the state are going to object to this. Well, they can't, can they? They can't.
Okay, Charlie. So I am showing you was in pre-marked as defendant's exhibit number 4. Can you tell me what this is?
The flash drive,
Okay, so what is on this flash drive?
the video of the fight.
Okay, and have you seen this flash drive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you give it to Ms. Clayton and I prior to the trial today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and has it been altered in any way since you took it off of your phone and gave it to us?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and was it time marked on your iPhone as this is the day that it happened?
Oh, no.
Okay, so how do you know that's in fact the same video?
I got it because it was I recorded it on my Snapchat. So it was in my Snapchat.
Okay, and can you tell us how that saves?
I just saved it. I just went and saved it saved it to my camera roll.
And did you initial this flash drive here?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your handwriting that is a C and a J, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense offers?
All right, I think we're gonna need to take a brief break. Unless the bridge is retired to the jury room, and we'll get you out.
Yeah, this is a bit of a surprise. All right. We're all risen. Depends which part of us is risen. Bum, bum. Hi, EU. Hope you're well. Nice to see you again, stranger.
Give you a little bit of time to review it. You haven't seen it, right?
No.
Okay, well then take a look at it. Can't make objections without knowing what you're looking at. As soon as you've seen it, we'll bring it back in and take objections.
Okay.
down so we can sit down for a few minutes.
Let me entertain you. Let me entertain you. No, it's all good. It's all good. EU, it's all good. Oops, went too far. Oops, went too far. Right, I'll start from here then. We will rock you. Boom, boom. I hope you all like my background here. Happy days at my alternate corner sign. My TV is right there. My cell's right there. Something beeped. Oh, they're back. Da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is a U. It is. Da, 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 da. She. Da, 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 da. It is indeed. It won't. It's no long left. I think this witness, and that's it. Then. Do you like how I make up songs? I can't sing for anything, but I'm a trier. I try. I'll try anything. Ba-rum-bum-bum. Right, come on. I thought you started, you bastards. There's literally thank you, you. It's a different wall though, remember? I got a new chair, new desk, everything. My sofa, the other wall is behind me. Well, it is sorry, in front of me. What you used to see. So oh, I'm not skipping ahead again because it'll just stop it. Uh-oh. No, it's fine. I just thought it's broken, but it's not. It's fine. So here they are. Here she is. Here she is. Here she is again. Here she is again. I think it's nice. To be fair, Lady Law had a sneak peek before anybody. So at the minute, my recliners, I got a recliner, you see. But I made the mistake earlier on, right? Got a boosted seat as well now, right? If you can see that the seat goes down, right? So earlier on, I was like that. I was like this. Oh, lovely. I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the stream. EU sneak peek. She got sneak peek. I know what you're alluding to, you dirty bitch, EU. But I mean, she got to see the signs before anybody else. She'd seen it a while back, and the happy days and everything, the flowers. She always gets sneak peek of the D, and my new recliner, yeah, like she swept as well, and my new desk, everything. So everything came today. So I was watching this trial. There's only about half an hour, if that, left of this trial for today. So I put this back on. She saw the signs. She saw the signs on the da 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 da. What's that? She saw my right. D la 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 da 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 da
And
da
that's
da da
offered
da.
for
Yeah, open your eyes.
inspection, state any objection.
I know, I just the song.
Okay. Hearing no
Open my
objection,
eyes, I
defense
saw
board
the
is admitted
sign.
and you may charge.
And for
Da,
the
da, da,
record,
da, da.
defense exhibit number 4 has 2 video clips. Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Okay. And no objection to either video clip included in defense board.
No objection.
All right, very good. You may proceed.
And pausing at timestamp 14 seconds. Charlie,
Walking
have you seen this
jukebox.
video?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was wearing the white shirt and who was wearing the navy blue shirt?
The students?
Yes.
I can't really see.
Would you mind stepping down from the witness stand?
You may.
Attempted. Attempted.
Are you talking about the ones?
Hold on.
He's up for 3 attempted murders.
Here by the board, and if you want her down, why don't you stand with her and ask her what you want?
There's one.
Okay,
100% in my
go ahead and
opinion,
come
he's
toward
guilty.
me, just so for the jury to be able to see. Okay, so at timestamp 14, in regards to the fight, who's wearing the white t-shirt and who's wearing the blue t-shirt?
Hold on, honey, you got to talk real loud.
The
Now,
case is wearing the blue one, and Tim's wearing the white one.
And what is Tim's demeanor on this still shot?
He's shooting his head.
I'm sorry, I need for you to speak up a little bit.
He's shooting his head.
I'm gonna do this, Charlie. I'm gonna position your body, move you around so you can speak openly, okay? Okay.
hold on just a second. The jury didn't hear your, why don't you start over with who's who?
Zacchaeus is in the blue, Tim is in the white.
Thank you, ma'am.
And what is Tim's demeanor like in this still shot?
He's protecting his head,
What is he protecting his head with?
his hands,
What is Zacchaeus doing in this video?
punching him in the head.
Can you present video?
What the fuck?
Pause video. We got 9 seconds left here. I know you're young, but what was just said on the video?
You a hoe on blood.
Okay. Who is the girl yelling in the backdrop?
You gotta speak up.
Me and DeQuayla,
And who was yelling in the video?
Miss Altman.
I need help! Pause at 1 second. Unfortunately, it moves so fast.
You want me to go back to the other video?
Yes, go ahead and go back to the first video, please.
What the fuck?
Get help! I need help!
Pause video at 3 seconds left. Whose back are we looking at?
Miss Herrera.
And what, after Mr. Herrera comes in, what do you do?
You gotta speak up.
Nothing, I was just standing there.
Okay.
Play video, please. Now, defense, we would like to publish the second video.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, this clip is 5 seconds, so it's really, really short here. Who is the man that walks in?
Coach Boyd.
And what happens after Coach Boyd walks in?
Coach Boyd grabbed Tim, and then Miss Herrera grabbed Zach. Well, Miss Herrera grabbed Zach off of Tim, and then Mr. Boyd grabbed Tim, and then they just went to he got him up off the floor. And then I don't know what happened after that. I walked back.
You may take a witness stand. Charlotte, on the clip, there's someone yelling, "I'm done." Do you recall who that is?
Miss Altman.
And during this moment, would Would you characterize this fight as being intense?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you characterize it as being violent?
Yes, ma'am.
Were y'all concerned when y'all were watching this video?
Yes, ma'am.
After the gunshots go off, where exactly do you run in the school?
I ran straight down that hallway. It's like a hallway that has lockers and a water fountains, and I ran down that hallway and then I made a left.
When were you, when you ran down this hallway, did the trophy case break?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that make you feel?
I was a little bit scared because I knew that the bullet was kind of close.
And even though you felt that way, do you think that Tim intended to shoot you?
No, ma'am.
Objection, Your Honor, that's inappropriate opinion evidence. Speculation.
When were you able to call your mother?
I called her while I was turning that hallway.
And how long did it take you to actually leave school that day?
Maybe about an hour.
Defense will pass the witness.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Charlie, how old were you on October the 6th of 2021?
I think I was 16.
Where was your regular class that morning? Whose teacher, what classroom?
Coach Boyd.
Okay. So you were not supposed to be in Altman's classroom?
No.
What were you doing in the hallway?
I was late to class. I was going to Mr. Boyd's class.
Okay. So, you stopped and talked to Zach and took your phone out, right?
Oh, I had already had my phone because I didn't have a backpack.
You just had your phone in your hand?
Yeah, because I was already on my phone.
Okay. And when he went into the classroom, the door was supposed to shut behind him, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But it didn't shut.
No, ma'am.
Did you catch it before it shut? And
No.
I don't.
Hold on, let's not talk over each other. I know,
Okay.
let her ask her entire question, make sure it's simple. Go ahead.
What happened with the door?
It was closing, but Miss Allman had she had held it a little, and then that's when I went in and pulled it open.
Okay. And the reason that you did that is because you wanted to videotape, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so when the fight starts, are you standing in the doorway the entire time?
Yes, ma'am.
You never actually went into the classroom?
No, ma'am.
All right. And is Miss Altman trying to get you and other students to get away from that doorway?
She wasn't really saying for us to get away from the door. She was more so calling help for other teachers.
Are you one of the ones that was standing in the doorway that she was telling to move away from that doorway?
I don't know.
You don't know?
She wasn't really yelling, she wasn't really talking to me or yelling at me.
Okay. And you mentioned for the defense attorney that you were concerned, that you became concerned.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you the student that when Coach Boyd came around to the classroom, and then Coach Walker, were you the one that was standing in the doorway laughing?
No.
Were some people laughing?
Yes.
Okay. Who's the person that says, "What the fuck"?
Me.
Who's the person that says, "Damn"?
Me.
Okay. But you're not laughing?
No, ma'am.
All right. So when you hear the gunshots, you see that it's Tim that has a gun, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you saw that part.
I didn't see him with the gun, but I seen him fire. I seen the shot fire off.
Okay, so you saw when Zach got hit the first time?
No,
You
I
did?
just seen the gun. I just seen the gunshot. I just seen the gun, the fire from the gun.
Okay. And you saw that Tim had it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you start running straight down that hallway towards the glass case, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you felt what go by you?
A bullet.
And you said that you're just a little bit scared?
Yeah, I just was like, cause I knew in my heart that he wasn't coming for me.
Okay. But if that bullet had hit you, you'd still be dead, wouldn't you?
Maybe. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
How about those other girls that were closer to the glass case that were ahead of you?
Objection to speculation.
If you're asking the same question as to those other girls, then I'll sustain the objection.
I'll rephrase.
Okay?
Were there other students in that hallway that were a little bit ahead of you, also
Yes.
running?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whenever you're down that hallway, do you see the glass case break?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where was Zach when you see him firing that weapon?
He was running.
He's running? He's trying to get out of that classroom like the other students?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've already identified on that video that Coach Herrera and Coach Boyd came in, and one of them had Timothy and one had Zach,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And the reason that you know that is the reason, or is it true that the reason that you know they separated them is that's how you had a clear view of Tim getting that gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever turn around and look back down that hallway at what was happening?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I was just trying to get away.
Because you were a lot scared, don't you think?
Objection to speculation.
Just fucking move
Asking
on,
her
council.
if she was her emotional state.
You asked if she was trying to get away?
I was asking her if she's scared.
That's over.
I've asked so many times.
A little bit scared?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you didn't come back to finish videoing, right?
No.
All right. Where did you go?
To the police office.
The police office? Is that downstairs?
Yes, ma'am.
In that video, what are you wearing in that video?
I have on a white shirt and it has, I think, green lettering on it, and I have black biker shorts and some white pants.
Pass the witness.
Redirect?
Charlie, on the video, we hear you saying audibly, "What the fuck" and "damn." Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are
Exactly.
you saying that?
Because he was getting thrown around. Like, it was too intense.
Is that the reason for why you stopped filming the fight?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly,
Is that why
Sarah.
you just left and ran down the hallway?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions?
All right, anything further, cross?
Just briefly.
Okay.
I thought you just testified that the reason you started running was because Tim had a gun.
It was more like, it was both. Like, after he got his head stumped on, that's when I was already about to walk away. But then I had looked more, and then that's when I see him get the gun.
Because when that fight's going on, you're not stopping to video. You're keeping video, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's only when the gun comes out that you said you heard Coach Boyd say gun, and you start running. Is that right?
Objection to compound question and ask and answer.
You can answer.
It was more so of like me just trying to get away.
Okay.
He yelled gun after he had already been stumped on. After he got stumped on, that's when I was about to walk away.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything further.
Any further redirect?
Nothing further from the defense.
Okay. Ms. Witness, be excused.
Yes,
Judge.
Let me be excused.
Right, let's see how much more left. I think they're done for the day. So we'll see what they've got to save. So I just don't think he's got a leg to stand on. He's evidently guilty of, in my opinion, of attempted murder on Zach. I wouldn't say he was guilty on the girl. I'm not sure about the teacher because I missed a bit of that testimony. But he's also guilty of bringing a weapon into a prohibited area, and then whatever the other things are, he might be guilty of those as well. I don't know what if he thinks he's getting away with anything. I just can't see. I don't think he's going to get 3 guilties for attempted murder. But if he doesn't get guilty of attempted murder of Zach, then what world are we living in? But what we've seen is like pretty clear cut. I wonder what happens to Zach. Farrell, why not? For what now? The 3 attempted murders, you mean? I'll wait for you to answer before. We'll see. Yeah, but it's not attempted murder though. It's the next charge down. He didn't attempt to murder them. I think there's a significant difference in attempted murder.
All right, so it's come to the
I think
court's
this is
attention that there
gone.
may be a witness that you're trying to get available, and there's one thing for the court to consider, to give y'all time to get your witness here or find another method by which to present them. But if you've got other witnesses.
That's fine, Farrell. I disagree.
Trial or
I
decision
disagree. I
involved in
don't
this
think
matter,
it is
y'all have any other
attempted
witnesses?
murder at all. Especially for the girl. The teacher, I'm not sure because I didn't see testimony. But for the girl, it's certainly not attempted murder. It's the lesser charge, in my opinion. I think it's finished now. I generally think it's finished now. Still going, but there's nothing else there. Okay, we finished that anyway. Um, he discharged a weapon of knowing what. Yeah, again, but again, I don't think it's not attempted murder. For as I say, that's just my opinion anyway. So obviously you think it is 3 attempted murders. I don't believe it is. The teacher one, I don't know because I didn't see enough of the testimony. But the Zach one is 100% attempted murder. Link. Determine how they got the lens. No, no, he didn't. Let's hear the charge. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we'll see that on the closing anyway. Depends on what the law says in that state. Yeah, I'm being generic on it now. If you say was it attempted murder in generic terms, no. Obviously, um, if it's in the charge, it's a little bit different. But I'm calling it black and white as I see it for in general. I've not read the document. I don't know if it is classed as attempted murder in Texas. But I don't believe if it is, it's fine, but I don't believe it is an actual attempted murder. Um, that yeah, well, I can't lefty because I don't know what the law is. That's the trouble because I don't know what it is. We've only started this case today, so I've not seen the documents. But going generically, that is classed as what I class it as murder, attempted murder in general, I wouldn't classify as that. Now, obviously, if the charge at the end is coming out as definitely attempted murder, then that's different. But I've not read it, so I can't give that. I'm only giving an opinion of what I know, and that's not much on the charges. 'Cause we all literally just started this today, so and it's gonna be finished tomorrow. But from what I heard from this morning, we've not seen the open statements or anything, but from what we heard this morning, from what Erin wrote, um, I just didn't think it was, and what we've researched, I just didn't think it fits into attempted murder. So I'll say we'll see when they close it, we'll know a lot more, and we'll know what the charges are actually from the judge, and then you can base it off that. Right. I don't know why StreamYard does this. It seems to freeze all the time. Now I can't fucking open it. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Anyway, I've blocked that one. I just don't know how my screen. I can't see oh, I can see it now. Did you read them before opening statement? No, we didn't see any of that. Or I remember it anyway. Erin just gave us the info, and that's it. I said we hear it closing anyway, but um, so people can determine there. Obviously, I'm giving my opinion. Disagree as much as you want. It's not a problem. My mind could change again. We've not even heard the testimony yet from the defense, so it could 100% change again. When we actually hear everything. Okay. I don't know, Luna. If why are you getting blank screens? I don't know because I what's left here. If you fire the weapon at someone who's intent to kill, that intent to kill would transfer to anyone in that same trajectory in probably most. Yeah, well, this is well. My problem is the girl was like how many yards down? I don't know how many yards away she was. She's a long distance away, obviously. Again, the teacher, I don't know because I was half watching that because I was doing tacos. So the teacher one that could very well be. I just don't know anything about that one, or not enough about that one. I didn't read it, listen to testimony. No, don't want that. Oh, what's she saying? If you same way self-defense would transfer to anyone innocent behind the person. Yeah, but again, there's a big difference for me. What again? We'll listen to at the end. See what the law is in Texas. It, she's way far away from it. She got a grade. In my opinion, that's not attempted murder. He was not aiming for her whatsoever. So we obviously disagree, and that's fine. We can all disagree on it. It's not a massive issue. It's nice to have a debate on it. StreamYard, I think I'm gonna have to change from StreamYard because it's fucking. They were not. They're not in the same room. She was down the corridor. She was down the corridor like 100 yards away. He just shot there and he grazed her, and went into the glass. Chat, you don't worry. You some people can't. People message me saying they can't even see the chat. It's blank and it's black. Hmm. Okay. So he didn't say anything though, did he, about what time it's starting tomorrow? I don't know. I put it in. So I put it in. I'm guessing about 8:30. So I put it in for 8:30 your time. Presume that'll be okay. If it changes and it's not on, I'll knock it forward, obviously. But that's fine, isn't it? 8:30, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, that's fine. 6 hours. That's fine. So I'll set it up for that anyway and see what happens. If it starts beforehand, I don't think it'll start before 8:30 your time, will it? Or it might start at 9 or something. I'll just go for, I can change it. I can adapt it tomorrow if need be. I can just start it whenever. Wanna give me a tour live online? No, you're right, you. You're right. What time is it with you now? Are you morning now? If anyone starts a stream, don't use StreamYard. It keeps crashing the fuck all the time. I keep getting black screens all the time. Anyway, Sarah, unless you tell me differently, I'll set it for 8:30 your time in the morning because I'm just gonna. I don't know what else to do with it as he didn't say what time they're starting, so I just gotta go guesswork with it. I'll be on before then anyway, so I can have a look to see if it does start earlier. And if it does, it does. It's fine. We can catch up anyway. I'll just leave it 8:30. We can catch up if it starts before that anyway. It's all good, right? I'll save that. It's done now. It's done. We'll see. I don't think they're gonna have many people tomorrow. Surely not defense. Then I think there's gonna be rebuttal witnesses. Um, I am very stingy with tool feral. I am very stingy. A couple of weeks ago with a GS and over 1K, I couldn't see the target from that. Yeah, I imagine. I never shot Dennis. It was only to me now. Sorry, you. I didn't. Okay, I'll see if I can find it and let you know. For happy days. Thank you, Sarah. Don't worry too much about it. I think if it starts before 8:30 your time, then we'll just catch up with it. And if it starts like 9, then I'll be alive at 8:30. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's fine, Sarah. We'll just leave it like it is. Um, because we go 1.5 to catch up on it, so it's all good. Right. What do you think, Sarah? You've watched 2 days of it now. What's your feelings on the trial so far? Dennis, are you from Texas then? I'm glad Aaron told us about this trial though. It's nice to have a sneaky trial in, and it's a short trial as well. Yeah, Farrell usually has all the tools, yes. I'm sure she does. Georgia. Georgia Bulldogs. Good old Georgia. Are you a Bulldog or are you Tech? What are you? Are you Falcons as well? Falcons, what do you call them? Happy days. Oh, okay. I'll see what you think, Sarah. Then we probably think video of him in the hallway shooting the other boy is going to sink him for sure. for at least one charge. Yes. Default team, Falcons and you're an Alabama fan. Ooh, national championship. I think the video in the hallway shooting the other boy is going to sink in for sure. That's where I agree with you. He's definitely guilty of that one, and um, I am at the minute. I don't think for anything else, but we'll see. We'll see. We still got more testimony to come from defense, but he's 100% shot with Zach. I don't think Zach testified. I don't remember seeing him, so um, I don't know what that's about. Alabama fan, Jesus, Dennis. Make sure you subscribe now, Dennis. Put the notifications on. We'll be going live at um, Georgia time, half 9 Georgia time tomorrow, and 8:30 Central time. Gonna have to go back and watch. Yeah, you go back. There's quite a few videos on there. You know what I mean? So, um, thanks, Dennis. Appreciate you. Can't get out with that one. Yes, Farrell. No worries, Dennis. It's all good. I just love the fact that you're Georgia from what do you call it? Supporting Alabama. That must have been hard. National championships. Do you know what I mean? Oof, that's tough to watch. You know, if the shot would have killed her, would you have still said he wasn't guilty because of a location? Um, you know, it's not just murder. It wouldn't have been murder. Well, he could say it's murder. Some people would say it's murder. You could say it's manslaughter because I don't believe he was aiming at her. So it could have been manslaughter. But potatoes, you know, at the same time, you know, I'd say it's manslaughter. If he killed her, I'd said manslaughter. Um, but that again, I'm not going off Texas regulations because I've not read it. So I'm giving an opinion based on, you know, generalizing it. Texas could come back and say, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shoot at anybody and it's attempted murder. But I've not read that yet. So I would okay, you disagree, Farah, that's fine. I mean, that's what we're here for though. It doesn't matter that we disagree on it. It's all good. Intent transfers. It can be, yeah. But at the minute I don't agree with it. Sorry that I have a different opinion, guys. You know, it is what it is. Um right. I'm also doing a coffin duffer one as well. Trying to get all the tweets from her. It's fine for look, I say as long as people have an opinion, I literally don't care, you know. So uh I could well be wrong. That's fine. But I'm entitled to an opinion. You guys are all entitled to an opinion. Please express it as you have. It's all good. When they're gonna change it to the person slaughter, no idea. EU. Coffin dumper, yes. I'm trying to get some of her tweets because she's got some if you think I've got outrageous takes, then fucking hell, you ain't seen nothing yet. Right. Close that down. That's down. Just one final check to see if they have actually done anything on that. No, they haven't, have they? Opening. Sometimes they do set it up the day before live. No, they haven't. Unless they put in what time he was here. I found no. It's all good though. Wish you would. No, it's fine. We'll just stream at 8:30 tomorrow. It's all good. So right. So Sarah, for you, it's 8:30. For you, Dave, and anyone else, it's 9:30. You for anyone in the UK, it's 2:30. It's only quarter of an hour earlier than normal. So we shall see what happens. But with that, it's been a long day. It's been a good day, I think, Sarah. It's been a long day, but good day, I think. So thanks, Sarah, for modding all day. Appreciate you. And yeah, it's been good to see Madwell back on stream. And then it's also good. Spider popped in. She's babysitting today, so hopefully she'll be free tomorrow. So um, it definitely is you, definitely is. So with that, I'm tired. It's nearly midnight here. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna go and have a good sleep. Hopefully, it's been a long day trying to set everything up for the stream, resetting everything up, and doing all this crap. So yeah, I shall see you. Well, some of you anyway tomorrow. And yeah, thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. Take care. Ta-ra.